Welcome back to 2019 LCK Summer Split Playoff Round 2. Today is the last day for the playoff rounds, and the winner of today will head to the finals. Today we'll be having a previous show before we head on to the Rift with Minakim, Pittor, and MadLife. So, in the previous match, SKT versus Sandbox, SKT was in a huge momentum and they had a bit of a lead in terms of best of 5 match. SKT was definitely a stronger team in terms of bigger stage. Well, they shut down Sandbox with 3-2-0 score, so today up against DAMWON, MadLife is looking forward to SKT's upgraded performance. This was the schedule we have gone through, and today we'll be having SKT versus DAMWON, DAMWON versus SKT, and the winner will be at the Hwajang Tiger Dome in the finals, facing up against Griffin. SKT with such a long history have proven themselves that why they are always the stronger teams, why they are always the favorites in terms of every tournament. So MadLife thinks it's more like a science that SKT being so stronger and special in terms of best of 5 game, but at the same time DWG Gaming had such a long time to prepare, so they might be able to show something special today as well. And this is the World's Championship points currently in Korea. Griffin, they already locked into World Championship, and SKT, if they win today, they will also get the seed for Worlds. And the remaining teams, they will be now fighting for the final ticket during the World's qualifier gauntlet run. But if SKT loses today, unless someone becomes the champion, SKT still goes to Worlds. So today's match will decide a lot of things, not only the playoff finals but also the teams going to the Worlds. And this is the team stat comparison. First, DWG, actually MadLife is being interested in their damage contribution. And also, they actually really good at taking down Drakes during the game, so maybe this can also be transferred into an extended teamfight after the objective control. So this kind of means that DWG is really good at skirmishes and also teamfights as well. So today will be a big matter whether SKT can fit in or adapt to DWG's playstyle. And this is the match history in LCK and also Caspa Cup. So DWG is in a big lead actually, 9-5 currently, but SKT, their performance is in the playoffs in best of 5 match is really different. So maybe today we might be able to be seeing some of the upsets regardless of the match history. SKT already showed that regardless of their match history, they were able to take down or sweep out Sandbox 2 days before, so it's gonna be a bit different from the history. And we have this highlight clips between DWG and SKT in the regular split. So in this game, they had a very huge priority in bot lane with Kalista and Lux. This composition was doing a lot of work even in the beginning of the laning phase, and with this lead, they were able to shut down the Nexus in the end. However, starting from game number 2, DWG was able to come back and turn the game around. This was all about the top lane competition, Nuguri versus Khan. Khan was going for his favorite pick, Aatrox, but Nuguri also pulled up a great performance on Aurelia. So it was sword versus sword. It was a very stylish match, but in the end, Khan was able to pick up that kill. So we are showing the highlights clips regardless of the result of the match right here. And this was the moment where DWG was able to gain the huge momentum and shut down the game over here. They were able to win the game in 2-1 score. This game, Nuclear was able to stay in great position on Lucian, and he was doing the most of the damage in the team fight. And moving on to Summer Split round 2. Well, this was the moment where actually Cannon was being caught, but DAMWON Gaming, the remaining players were able to turn the fight around. So their ability in team fight DAMWON is really outstanding, so SKT has to be aware of this. And this was a game where Volibear was doing a lot of work. SKT made a great turret dive over there, taking down both of the bot laners over there. However, with this one team fight, DAMWON just gained the whole momentum of game and able to just take down SK Telecom. With the very sophisticated vision control, DAMWON was hunting the SKT players in the brush, and they were able to just shut down all the players. The key players of both teams will be the top laners, Noguri versus Khan. So we have to say Noguri, most of his stats are on the top of the table, and Khan, his stats, especially about the laning phase, is not the best compared to other laners. However, coming into these playoffs, Khan's performance has stepped up a lot. So, well, looking at the stats, we might be able to say Noguri kind of in a better position. However, Khan has longer history, longer career, and also his performance in best of 5 match. So we cannot really tell by just looking at the stats over here. And also another solo laner. The mid laners are also the key players of today's match. The most interesting thing is that FLICKR is picking every different champion for every different game. Starting from the wildcards, he has been playing Xarin, Kiana, Echo, Renekton, and also Kali. The Showmaker is about scaling. When he scales, he destroys the game. Especially the most representative champion will be Corki. However, FLICKR is pulling off different unexpected plays on 4 or 5 different champions so far. So whether DAMWON will be paying attention and using their ban cards on him, or rather they can just open all the cards for him and counter it with the performance, will be the key for today's match. So any predictions for today's match? I think SKT right now, their force is so huge and incredible. So, well, even though DAMWON might be having a better match result, he's expecting a 50-50 very close game. However, DAMWON has one more choice for making a side selection, so overall, well, the final pick in the red side matters a lot, so maybe DAMWON can be in a bit of a lead. As I've been keep talking about, SKT in the playoffs is so different, especially in the late games. So I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think 3-2-1 victory goes to SK Telecom. So it's going to be experience versus young blood or young spirit. So let's check out how the result will be, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the playoffs here for LCK Summer 2019. I'm Atlas, I'm joined by LS. We're going to do our very best not to leak too much of the script because there is so much on the line here. SKT with a victory today will guarantee World Championships, and we will in fact have our first 2 seeds coming out of the LCK before we've even had the LCK final. That being said, SKT has to get through a DAMWON Gaming that are off the back of a 2-0 against the squad and a great record over this season thus far. This is the matchup that we've been waiting for.
It really is, and it does look like SK Telecom, like they were just mentioning with the Korean analysts, they have a force behind them right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's looking like they might potentially just go on a tear again. Then take the finals away from Griffin. That is how it's looking, Atlas.
Well, that certainly is. But Griffin come into the finals looking very different than they did last year. I expect that we're not going to have the Talia Pantheon bottom lane. Thank you very much, LS. But that didn't work out very well for Griffin there, and I think they understand what their mistakes are. And this is going to be a team that's very hungry. That being said, that is going to be a matchup for one of these teams coming up at the Hwajeong Gymnasium. Of course, the Tiger Dome, very famous venue for esports here in Korea. That is going to be a fantastic final, but we've got to find out who the second team is going to be. And now, SKT without side selection heading into this best of 5 could be a bit of a dicey scenario, because remember, Sandbox, they elected to go for blue side for some reason. And SKT were able to pummel them in the 2 games that they were able to pick up their red side choices, which is what they did every single time they were given the opportunity. But by the time Sandbox realized their mistake, it was game 3, and SKT had so much momentum. This time around, however, I am going to throw out a little bit of a spoiler. DAMWON have elected to go towards that red side Noguri counterpick, Showmaker counterpick. All of these things are incredibly, incredibly important. And here we are, last stage before the Hwajeong Tiger Dome. DAMWON Gaming to the first finals versus SKT, about to finish the miracle run. If they can run this gauntlet, it will be amazing. It'll be the second time that they've done it and made it all the way to the finals since 2017. It was Longju that were able to stamp them down after that one. That being said, this is an SKT that is on the most ridiculous form, and I think it comes from their jungler. I think Clit has been playing out of his mind League of Legends on patch 9.16 and throughout these playoffs. He's been a linchpin, much like he was at MSI earlier in the year. And if it's that Clit that we're going to see today, then we're going to need every game to be MVP Canyon and not
coin flip
Canyon.
Well, there were some points where we could make the first place with our own ability, but we were lacking a little bit. However, at the same time, this result is better than expected, so we're quite satisfied. So up against SK Telecom, I hope our players are able to hold on to their mentality, even though SKT takes one of the 2 games during the match. And speaking of FLICKR's pocket picks, I believe that his champion pool is not something that we can stop with ban cards. So we're not kind of adapting to his playstyle, we are rather just trying to do make the best choice in every situation. So it didn't really take a long time for us to get this huge opportunity, so we really want to grab this opportunity and make it to the finals. Well, in the spring split, we started from the wild cards. We didn't have much time to prepare, but we're starting from the second round here, so I believe we can show better performance this time around. Watching SKT performing, I think they were really dominant when they were winning, so it's gonna be really dangerous if we let them take the momentum in the early phase. Well, speaking of the match history, we actually was turning the game around even though when we were a bit behind, so we shouldn't let it happen this time. And up against FLICKR, I also prepared a lot of pocket picks, and also I have been facing him in the solo queue a lot as well, so I just have to do my best against him. I never been to finals, so I really want to make it there. And winning this game will be a huge momentum for our team as well. So I just don't want to think about the finals right now. I just want to think about going up against SKT for now. Well, since we made it here, our goal is making it into the finals. I really want to win today and make it to finals today for sure. A lot of people are concerned about the players' conditions, but I mean, we were working so hard for this, so losing game because of the condition will be such a big sorrow, so we're doing our best right now. And some of the people are also concerned that FLICKR revealed his cards too much, but his champion pool is so broad, so big, so we still have a lot of cards, well, in every situation. And we were having a long losing streak during the regular split, and our run in the playoff was not easy as well, so we want to have a great ending here and make it to the finals. It was a very hard journey for us. I really want this win today. Well, we are going up from the wildcard series, so it was not easy, but at the same time, we have a 2 matches winning streak right here, so we have a huge momentum, so we can make it to the finals and and today's match will decide the world as well. So I'm gonna do my best here. Well, speaking of the match history of DAMWON, well, actually we were winning the games a lot, but DAMWON was able to turn the game around at the same time. So that was the focal point, not letting DAMWON to turn the game around. So we did our best in terms of this game's preparation, so we will do our best here on the stage. SKT fighting.
Thank you very much, G-Sun, for the translation, and here we are, DAMWON versus SKT. I know it says DAMWON first, but that doesn't mean blue side. That means side selection for game number 1, and they have elected to go towards that red side, as we mentioned before. This is for the slot in the final, Hwajeong Gymnasium, the Tiger Dome, next weekend against Griffin. DAMWON will be making their way out first, led by Coach Kim, the man that brought Invictus Gaming to the final in 2018. And now that he's gone, Invictus Gaming looking like a very different team. So we'll see whether he can use some of that magic to help DAMWON here, because they're going to need as much of it as possible. A young roster, a whole lot of talent, but they're going up against SKT with momentum in a best-of-5. There are so many factors here that DAMWON need to overcome, despite the 9-5 winning record that they have moving into this series.
Atlas, I'm going to need your prediction for this series. Give it to me.
You want my prediction right now?
Right now. Putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot. Actually, so I've got a head and I got a heart prediction.
All right.
So my head prediction,
give me both.
From my brain, is SKT just slices through DAMWON today. My body's telling me that their form is too good, 3-0 to SKT. But what my heart is saying is 5 games, and I just don't care who wins.
All right. Now, you said that you have you got a head and a heart.
Yep.
I got a piece of paper.
Right. What does the piece of paper say, LS?
Saying 3-0.
All right.
SKT.
Wow. So your piece of paper is saying the same as my brain. Yeah. That's cool. Looks like you may have written my brain as well, LS. There we go.
All right.
These are your rosters. No surprises here on either side. Of course, SKT not running Mata on the bottom side of the map. Effort will be retaining his spot once again. He has looked good, but the man who has looked the best in their most recent series isn't the name that you're expecting. It was Khan. Khan was popping off against Sandbox, and Summit is no slouch on the top side. It was unfortunate that he got Karma a couple of times up there against Khan's Aatrox, things like that, but Khan still was able to use what he was given and do it in fantastic fashion. FLICKR playing basically random mode when it comes to the draft, picking up the Echo, picking up the Kassadin. Laning phase looking a little bit dicey though, and I think that, honestly, some of the mishaps that FLICKR may have been forgiven for in the Sandbox series, I don't think he has the opportunity to do that here today against Showmaker. Showmaker's form has been out of control, so we're going to need vintage, high-quality FLICKR in this series.
Going up against an entirely different caliber mid laner today, and some people consider Showmaker the best mid in LCK right now. He's definitely up there.
Definitely the best Akali.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens today. I feel like the jungle dynamic is going to be really important, now, as we've already mentioned. Clips, is he going to be consistent and on fire, and what kind of coin flips will Canyon attempt?
Well, the thing is that, so Clit is coming off probably one of the greatest Sylas performances that we've seen in a really long time, but so's Canyon. Both of these players are going to be contesting for that pick, and with Sejuani being nerfed, things like that, I think that the jungle matchup is going to be very fiery between these two guys, and something can be said for momentum, something can be said for staying in the zone and in the mindset. And as SKT have just been plowing through this gauntlet, it's been victory after victory after victory, despite dropping a game in the FLICKR series. But since then, it's all been short up. And it's very scary for a DAMWON that has had to watch on as SKT's been crushing forward. That being said, we need a good draft from both of these teams. Some question marks on Zephyr in the past, but his drafts throughout the playoffs have been much better.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be here today with you.
Me too.
The drafts. I'm really excited to get into these.
Well, I mean, as long as there's not like actual timing predictions so that we just ruin all of the hype, then I'm going to be okay. Aatrox though going to be banned away here from Khan. Great ban from DAMWON to start this one off. Sort of the most banned champions are a little bit interesting. Yuumi taking a pretty big hit on this patch is still 5 out of 6 of the games so far played in the playoffs. she's been banned, is going to continue being so, as there is the 6th Yuumi ban so far on 9-16 here in the LCK. Akali, no surprise, is going to be banned, but it is banned by DAMWON's side, not wanting to allow SKT that first pick. And you know, the Tom Kench is going to be banned as well. Tom
is still being banned away, and DAMWON, as you mentioned earlier, they're going to have counterpick available for Showmaker or Nuguri, both of which it's really important, especially how are they going to get the jungle synergy going with Canyon? What are going to be the matchups? I think if DAMWON doesn't have authority coming out of the draft in terms of lane priority and other stuff like that, SK Telecom probably going to be comfortable. There's still a lot of picks that I am wondering where they have been, and speaking of a blindable pick, well, Silas is going to be one of them. He's able to be flexed.
Yeah. Flexed in multiple different roles. Most likely we'll be heading into the jungle because it's not only a pick away from Canyon, but the most recent champion that Clid was able to destroy Sandbox on. See whether DAMWON's going to react with some strong choices of their own. A Renekton rearing his head there as the Crocodile will be picked up for one of the solo lanes for DAMWON, and Kai'Sa is there now as well. And I think Kai'Sa is actually a dangerous pick because SKT have been getting Dravened quite a few times so far in these playoffs, but Teddy's a Draven player, and I really do like the Draven matchup into the Kai'Sa. DAMWON with some scaling and some not so much scaling already in this first round.
Yeah, definitely a little bit off is their draft so far with the Renekton and the Kai'Sa, especially because it's really early on. The Renekton really funnels you into one direction, and the Kai'Sa is normally used lately as a means to bypass the dual carry that some teams can go for.
Not the Draven, but still a very high-powered laning champion in the Lucian. See whether they do pair it with
Braum.
A Braum, which is the classic, but also you can pick Thresh. Thresh has been pretty high priority as well, and then you get that Lifesteal bottom lane that can be so oppressive. Braum, much easier choice, will be locked in. LS, of course, reading the script very effectively here today. As we look for DAMWON's final pick in our first round, already SKT giving basically nothing away. I really like this blue side draft so far from them. Now DAMWON, do they just grab themselves a Nautilus or something like that? That can be dangerous.
All the champions on SKT, they're extremely short range. They have to go in. They have dashes and whatnot. The Taliyah, really good at all of those angles.
And also really good on this patch as well, with the Corki being nerfed to basically oblivion.
Yeah.
And the Azir also getting chopped down a couple of pegs after that Q nerf. The Taliyah certainly does rise in priority. We've been seeing it everywhere on 9-16 so far. But I do like it. High-powered pick for Showmaker, potentially, unless Canyon wants to take that one into the jungle.
Nico ban, a little bit of a blunder. SKT, they're already such short range, and so if you're DAMWON and you have the ability to recalibrate your draft and get longer range champions that are able to play front to back, you should do so at this point and try to incentivize SKT to keep going these short range champions, because then it makes their draft one-dimensional, which is what it is right now. The Azir ban away is really strange. He got hit this patch. Taliyah traditionally rose to power to go up against Victor and Azir 2 years ago, and she was the one that actually brought them down. She fares very well against it, but DAMWON, I guess they want giving credit,
They want FLICKR to play the Echo again, I guess. That was what his pick into Dove's Taliyah was, and Dove's Taliyah actually did fantastically well in that matchup, despite it being a bit of a rough one.
Let me see Syndra.
You reckon the Syndra's coming out?
I feel that you need a long-range mage that has some way to really fight back against DAMWON. With Corki and Azir having been removed, I think it's unlikely that we're going to see something short range that can still hyper carry, such as like a Cassiopeia. So
this is an old lane. The Kai'Sa Rakan coming in. Very squishy, but this is a lot of extra engage support coming out from DAMWON. DAMWON's drafts have been really interesting. They've been not necessarily playing around big front lines. Renekton can be that, but he's more of a meat sack that wants to be doing damage more than anything else. As the Quinn comes out again, could be going into the hands of Khan here, and it's a rough matchup for Crocodiles up there on the top side. Now, where is FLICKR going to go?
They need a big AP mage. of some sorts. I don't think
one
that
with
we'd
spheres,
see,
maybe?
Maybe one with spheres, but Faker's LeBlanc.
Yep, sigils instead of spheres. That's going to be the option here as Faker goes back to an old favorite. That's a Kiana. And that would mean that Talia is heading into the jungle, and I really like that. The flexibility that DAMWON have already shown in this composition coming to the fore, as that would be a roughie. As the Kiana is going to come out, so we're terraforming the mid lane. Is Showmaker very excited to see what he can do on this champion. As this is your DAMWON composition, not a lot of frontline. They have a hell of a lot of damage. This is a classic DAMWON composition, and I don't know whether it's going to be for better or for worse in this particular case, because in a Game 1 in a best-of-5 series, I think it's better to play pretty standard League of Legends, but DAMWON have gone, no, it's not about that. We are going to catch you and kill you over and over again. This game is going to be all about getting that control for DAMWON and winning that mid-game.
Yeah, DAMWON, if you look at both of these team compositions, both of them are extremely aggressive in the early stages, but they really do come online at 2 items. The difference is normally I'm one of the Scrooges that will criticize these comps as they go beyond the 2-item mark, but because they both fundamentally follow that line of being the 2-3 item spike and then tapering off, the mobility that SKT has on the Quinn and the LeBlanc and the lack of way to control them on the side of DAMWON means that these champions, they'll scale past those item stages and still be useful. And DAMWON don't have a really reliable way to hold them down. The LeBlanc is going to be a menace, and the Quinn's going to be a menace.
Yep.
So DAMWON, they have to end this game early because the smoke and mirrors for SKT, it's going to be too strong.
That being said, DAMWON's composition can win early very effectively if they can get vision control, and especially if they're able to knock down a few extra turrets in the early game. It hasn't been something any other team can do. Let's see whether DAMWON can. Game number 1. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, to Summoner's Rift for game number 1 between DAMWON Gaming and SKT. SKT with outside selection on our blue side to start this one off, as Khan, of course, has taken the cleanse instead of the teleport because he can just hop on a bird and fly around the map pretty effectively. No need for that particular summoner spell. Press the attack on 2 champions on the SKT side.
They're trying to press the attack.
And the DAMWON side. They are.
Okay.
But do you know how you counter pressing the attack?
You press the attack?
You press the same amount of the attack.
All right.
Yeah.
And you have the same amount of Guardians?
Yeah. But you've got more electrocution.
There's a little bit more electrocution on the side of DAMWON, but that just means that SKT can conquer the game.
Mm-hmm. This is
See how that works?
I feel like we're learning more about your scripting abilities by the day. LS, that's what's happening here.
That is what's going on.
But I want to talk about how these lanes are going to go in this early game, because I'm looking at SKT's squad and I'm seeing, you know, LeBlanc versus Kiana, range versus melee, and on the bottom side we've got one of the best laning duos against a duo that does want to scale to an item or 2 and try and get some more buttons under their belt. It's
really scary, and I mean, it plays into the narrative that we were suggesting about Canyon has to really be on point. So DAMWON's early game is really looking rough, and it feels as though it can snowball out of control for SKT. So we're going to have to pay attention to Canyon. It looks like he's going to do a red start into Raptors, whereas Klid, knowing that all of his laners don't really need him early on, he's opting into what seems to be a full-side red clear. And so what is Canyon going to do early? Because it's really difficult for the DAMWON Gaming laners to manipulate their lane states to be favorable for a Talia jungle. And so this is one of the problems that I have with the draft, where on paper DAMWON's, it looks fine, it goes to 1-2 items, but there's so much wonkiness within it that it's really going to be up to Canyon to salvage it.
Yeah, and we'll see whether he's got the answers for us here in this early game, as Klid is going to make what feels like every game's visit to the bottom side. Half the health bar here is, of course,
better bot wins.
The Silas clear is not so healthy anymore, but he's looking to adopt to scond his way in. Effort going to miss the flash. Winter's Bite, though. So the Silas has to slink back into the river.
But priority is established in both mid and bot, it looks like, so I believe that they could move over to Canyon. And that should mean that right side Scuttle Crab should go to Clid.
Yep, he's going to pick that one up here as Bertha is what Canyon's opted in for. The back coming down. At least thinking about it here for FLICKR, who does have the shove in that mid lane.
And I really like what FLICKR did. He built up such a large minion wave that it allows him time to roam. Normally, players will just try to crash a small minion wave, and it doesn't really grant that much authority over mid, whereas if the minion wave is really large in size, it grants your mid laner more freedom, or if the enemy mid follows, the punishment is greater.
Yeah. Well, Canyon's going to find FLICKR, as Showmaker's going to Terra Shape his way over. Chains Lando and Clid is here in position. Pebbles go down. FLICKR does get an Electrocute proc onto Showmaker. That's only going to help the lane state here for the LeBlanc, and SKT already trying to put the screws in this early game, and it's working.
Yeah, SKT, they're already at a really big advantage. The rubber band camps for Clid include the Raptors and the Golems, whereas Canyon's just getting access to them. So even though...
Oh, no, the Ignite going down in the mid lane. Chains are going to land. FLICKR's underneath the turret as Showmaker falls, and FLICKR gets the 1v1 outplay.
No.
Wow. This is a complete turnaround, though. This is exactly what we were talking about as Beryl doesn't find the grand entrance. FLICKR actually fell in that 1v1 against Dove. Remember this. This was against his Talia as the Echo. Now FLICKR back on a champion that he has a whole lot more games on, but still, this is the kind of form that we've wanted to see out of FLICKR in the laning phase, because we know what he can do as he carries his team in the team fights. It's been the laning phase, it's been a little bit dicey, and I think that a lot of SKT fans can now breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, the lane kingdom being established already in mid, LeBlanc backs into a Seeker's Arm Guard with the Fairy Charm. Showmaker is going to be in a world of pressure. And we look at what this is a byproduct of. It's the crash that happened onto the tier 1 turret, causing a slow push back into FLICKR. Minion wave on FLICKR's side of the lane, Canyon up at the Golems. Showmaker saying, I need to crash this wave, I need to get the XP, but without a jungler to aid him, keeps trying to walk too far up. And then FLICKR just says, no, you're a little bit out of bounds.
Oh no, Seismic Shove caught backing is Khan. The flash is there, but one more auto and Canyon is going to get it as the Vault was delivering the Quinn to him. DAMWON do even it out with Khan backing. A little bit unfortunate timing.
This will allow Renekton to get the crash and perhaps even a turret plate. And remember that Khan doesn't have Valor yet.
Nope, not going to be able to hop onto the bird to make his way towards this lane. So no teleports, no nothing, as Showmaker takes another pretty bogus trade in the mid lane. Able to eat through some corrupting potion charges, but FLICKR also has access to that one, and he's happy to take a turret shot if it can mean that Showmaker is on low enough health to where he can't actually contest the minion wave. Grand entrance does come down once again. Canyon dives on over, but Clid is in position. Seismic Shove does go wide as Teddy doing a lot of damage. Canyon already very low as the abscond comes in from Clid. Can't quite close the gap though, and he's taking a lot of damage. Nuclear now with the auto attacks. A big health bar as Teddy now not a lot of mana. Threaded volley, not finding the mark. And Stand Behind Me is going to get effort out of trouble. A lot of low health bars, but no deaths on the bottom side.
Oh.
Showmaker again chained up.
What's that range?
As FLICKR is just eating the honey fruit right in front of the Kiana.
I'm probably going to get a replay of that trade, as it was a really a 2-level lead currently. Probably just a level, but
well, level 6 has now been gained from Showmaker, but this is the kind of destruction that can happen if you fall behind against a LeBlanc, but more importantly, against FLICKR's LeBlanc, who just popped over a wall and got an electrocute proc by auto-attacking the Kiana that had no way of contesting FLICKR's LeBlanc.
He's going to clear out the control ward now on the left-hand side, and basically all that Khan needs to do is make sure that he doesn't hemorrhage up in top lane, and all should be fine because the LeBlanc, she's the core piece to SKT's team composition once this game goes to 3-4 items, if it makes it there. Because she's going to be the one that can get in on every single member of DAMWON and just light them up instantly. So, I mean, just look at mid lane right now on the minimap. You can see how far Showmaker's having to play back. He's losing out on minion XP in addition to gold. Everything is extremely painful right now.
Yeah, FLICKR not going to hold a freeze or anything like that. He is a player that does like to do that sometimes in the mid lane. That's a lot of damage onto Khan. He's got himself some Berserker's Greaves, but otherwise not a whole lot of damage, going for more of that attack speed start. Recurve Bow will be coming in most likely, I assume, into that Blade of the Ruined King. Does work well against a champion that likes to stack a lot of health in Nogari's Renekton. But this could be a lane that could potentially salvage DAMWON. After the death that Khan suffered, Nogari got himself a decent lead in a matchup that can be tough for the Renekton, given the range advantage that Khan does have up there. But it's Showmaker being behind this far that's the huge problem for DAMWON, because they wanted to be able to play around this Qiyana in the mid-game, and now Qiyana needs to be trying to get herself back into any sort of relevant state in the mid-game instead of being able to do anything like that, as Showmaker throws some grass at a minion wave, is desperately trying to figure things out. It hasn't represented anything in the gold though, LS, and okay,
well,
it's going to represent a lot in Showmaker's health bar. Ignite Flash are available here for FLICKR in a couple of seconds as Weave as well comes towards the top side. As Khan going to get electrocuted, pops back with the seismic shove positioning. So good. And SKT will answer with a Mountain Drake on the bottom side, but this Crocodile's getting more and more fed. And this isn't the kind that after he gets fed, he goes and takes a break, sleeps on a beach for a while. He just wants to eat more.
Yeah, the scary thing is the Renekton now, 20 CS advantage, several plates inside of him, a 2-level lead in top lane. Khan had one job.
Yep.
He had one job after FLICKR got so far ahead in the early stages. And he might just die again. Oh, he's going to find Canyon.
Yep, Sky Strike going to come down there as he's looking to return the favor, but a lot of damage coming out. No seismic shove, no kill. As Nogari's going to tank up this turret. Doesn't really Oh no! What? Wow, the minion wave wasn't in range, and somehow Khan is gifted a kill. Oh my god. Talk about whoopsies, LS. That is about the biggest one that we've seen so far these playoffs.
Had Dominus available. He could have tanked another turret shot. This didn't need to happen.
He thought the minion wave was in range. He did not think that that was going to hit the Talia there at all.
Oh man. Well, this is definitely an awkward spot now where the advantages in top lane
almost nullified, right?
Almost nullified. It's not quite as large as it was before, and now Cliddy's going to be able to get this Rift Herald, most likely going to just take it mid, I would assume.
Or top lane, and give Khan an advantage back as Effort. He's going to turn up here as well, as the Rift Scuttler is going to fly into the open arms of Canyon. FLICKR coming on over. Beryl is here. Distortion going to be returned to here by FLICKR's LeBlanc, and SKT continue to have control in this game. It may not be represented via the money, but SKT's mid-game is ready to explode.
Let's take a look at the replay one more time. Weaver's Wall comes in. Nogari gets onto Khan. Cleanse comes out, but it doesn't matter. The seismic shove, a little bit too strong. I have no idea what Canyon's doing right there. I'll be completely honest with you. And even his reaction to what's going on is really slow. And then right here, Dominus available.
Oh, but I don't know, man. That was really strange. It looked like that minion was in range and then juked out of the way so that the Talia would die.
Yeah.
That's it's pretty unfortunate. But that is an unforced error. Something that we don't get to talk about too much. Sort of more of a tennis thing, but that was certainly a death that didn't need to happen on DAMWON's side, and something that can't happen in a series like this. You have moments like that, it's going to affect how you play out the rest of the games, and you just cannot let it. SKT members have been very outspoken on the value of having the veterans that they have in order to keep their mindset intact. DAMWON do not have that availability, apart from Nuclear, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the only real option as far as experience is concerned, and it's nothing like having FLICKR on your team. And having cleared Khan, you know, you've got so many big names here. Even Teddy himself has been on some high-pressure stages himself, but probably the other direction.
Well, Canyon and Showmaker are looking for something on FLICKR.
Showmaker not going to be able to find too much in a... Yep, seismic shove, not going to be shoving FLICKR today. He is very comfortable here in this lane. And that's, you can see what this comp is trying to do, right? Like Showmaker and Canyon, if you had have got yourself to a decent early game position on the Qiyana, then if anyone face checks you in the jungle, you die, like instantly. Like that person is dead, straight up. But it's now too dangerous for DAMWON to get there because they haven't been able to retain any sort of vision control.
Here we go.
In the jungle, and you mentioned throwing Shelly down in the mid lane is exactly what SKT is going to do. She's going to get one charge as Beryl. Maybe a little bit too far up, but Clid's just going to catch a quickness. Did those plates get eaten or not? I didn't see them.
I didn't see the gold. Then again, I am lost sight, so please remember.
That is true. Limited sight range.
Limited sight range. Blind to my right eye, okay?
Yep.
Well, probably going to see a replay, I would imagine, if the plates didn't actually go down. Or we're just going to know...
Yeah, we'll be told.
When the indicator...
Yep. Now, I assume. Plates just falling down. Nuggery on the top side does still have a decent advantage, but it's going to get to the point where it's going to get more and more difficult. As Blade of the Ruin King comes in, Khan gets another tool that he can use against Nuggery. Yeah, SKT didn't get them.
They didn't get the plates.
Yeah. So two of them went down, but no. One of them went down on the bottom side. No. Well, Effort also going to lose a control ward. SKT playing handicap mode. Not even taking any of these pesky plates. They've been playing for many seasons. And those plates weren't a thing in any of the other ones. They didn't need them to win multiple years in a row.
Right, so what's basically happening at this point, DAMWON, they're showing interest to get an open dragon. Doesn't matter, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, this is also exactly where DAMWON wants to fight. I think that it's really smart of SKT to let that one go. It's not only an Ocean Drake, which isn't high value, but also you don't want to come to a DAMWON squad that has Canyon there, that has Showmaker there with a lot of burst potential if you're going to make your way in. And neither of these teams have much frontline at all. I mean, Nuggery is theoretically frontline, but he's mostly about damage. He's got his Spear of Sojourn already completed. And Renekton is known for getting in there, trying to kill someone, and if he doesn't, he dies. Basically how that works is Showmaker going to dive onto FLICKR here as Canyon's waiting in the wings. He's waiting. Showmaker might just die, but FLICKR gets a minion wave underneath his turret, and he's no longer going to have any pressure on him. This is the kind of FLICKR that you get very, very scared to watch. He's looking well and truly on point here today as Khan is just patrolling the enemy jungle. He's got Valor now. Adorable pink Valor.
Yeah.
Towards the top side, and he can just Sky Strike these minions all the way down.
You know, what if that's just a shiny? You ever think about that?
What do you mean?
Shiny.
Yeah, like a shiny Pokemon, but like as opposed to the other Valor is there's lots of different Valors. Maybe it's like Eevee, you know, like multi-evolution.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really strange. I guess Quinn's just a Pokemon trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now we learned it. They need to make a Pokemon trainer Quinn skin.
No, we just call it Let's Go Quinn. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
You did. Because then you avoid the copyright situation.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shirley kind of looks like a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially with this particular skin.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, that's a Pidgeotto. Sort of, you know?
I like it. FLICKR moving over. There's a control ward going down. Misses that chain. It's the first one that I've seen miss so far, so I'm not going to be too upset about it.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I know. Not impressed. Not impressed. My prediction on LS's opinion of the situation. Nuclear now with some free time on this turret. That's an ultimate that Showmaker threw out. Didn't actually find too much, but FLICKR as well in some trouble. Seismic Shove again going to go wide, and we're starting to see which version of Canyon we're getting. This time around, Khan zooming around and will be able to find this turret. The rotations of this squad are very, very swift and easy. And SKT will break open the first turret of the game. Not only that, but the outer turret in the mid lane. The reason for a lot of the ARAMs that we experience here in the lull states might be that we don't even get a lull state this game.
Well, we were on the edge of it. Atlas. I was feeling
I know,
it
the
building.
precipice.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
And then SKT just dove off.
Well, they're going to give up.
Take down that turret.
Yeah, they're going to give up bot tier 1. I wouldn't expect to see a team fight until the next Mountain Drake. And I mean, honestly, it's the best dragon SKT could probably hope to roll given the current game state. It comes up perfectly lining up with Baron. And it's the exact kind of dragon that allows SKT to make a pickoff via the LeBlanc or the Quinn and then convert immediately into a Baron capture. And it helps with the LeBlanc and Quinn if they attempt to ever do any sort of 1-3-1.
Yeah, and I think that it's necessary to have that, as Harrier up towards the top side Khan knows that he has positioning there, as FLICKR is just stopping anyone from freely moving throughout the jungle. Total gold, still a lead for Noguri on the top side of the map, but it's a big one for FLICKR in the mid lane. 1,000 gold ahead is the LeBlanc. And when SKT were actually a little bit behind in gold, it's really interesting how the gold state has gone. Here's a team fight. The quickness is huge into the backline. Is FLICKR in trouble, has to flash to get out, and Nuclear follows with the killer instinct. 2 kills in for DAMWON already. Have they done it again? This is what they did against SKT in the regular season the last time they met. They found a mid-game team fight, and can DAMWON get more?
Well, it's going to be 40 seconds until the Mountain Drake. Effort will be up for that, but FLICKR, he's going to take a little bit getting over to the mid lane. However, some of the members on DAMWON need to recall. Nuclear, he has teleport available. Beryl does not. And during this, though, Khan did pick up the top tier 1 turret, and so the gold semi-neutralized. We'll take a look at how it all transpired. FLICKR and Effort shoving out the mid wave didn't account for Showmaker being there, and then it was just a party.
It was, and Nuclear is the one that gets all the presents there as well. I have a feeling it was his party, LS. Cleared, can't find the chain lash damage enough onto Beryl, who can get himself out of there just fine. SKT once again venturing back here into the river, but it is so dangerous to do so. FLICKR just testing with that distortion. Cleared, getting out of the way there as Beryl can dive in. And DAMWON, the thing I really like about this composition is that their engage options are from everywhere, right? They've got Beryl with the grand entrance. They are very slippery, as FLICKR may have found one. Beryl's going to have to go golden. The ignite is ticking down, is now cleared. Might be in trouble. Grand exit there for Beryl's Rakan. And he's going to have to go back yet again. DAMWON with a man disadvantage moving into this Mountain Drake that you were talking about is so incredibly, incredibly important.
Well, it does look like SKT, they're not keen on trying to start it because some of their carries are really low on HP. So even though they had the man advantage, didn't really matter because the carries just couldn't take place in a fight. So DAMWON, they end up getting the mountain.
And now we're going to have to start talking about where scaling is and what the options are for DAMWON moving into a late game, because I see a Renekton and I don't expect a team to scale super well, but Canyon's going to have a lot of damage on this Talia. Talia is one of those junglers that you can funnel some extra gold into and will be a legitimate carry. Probably more so than that of the Sylas, although Sylas does fit that mold a little bit. But DAMWON are looking like they have a clear strategy and a clear win condition in mind for how this comp is going to work. And it's going to be around those catches, around those skirmishes. And if they can continue to find them effectively, then it's just a matter of getting your vision down, fighting around where your wards are, and then closing the game out. Because they're also a team that relies on getting that Baron to get the work done.
Yep.
And Showmaker, not going to find the ultimate there onto FLICKR, but does get the stun into the wall. So will stop the onslaught of the LeBlanc.
It's really feeling like this is going to come down to, once LeBlanc gets strong enough, what sort of picks can FLICKR make? Because given the current map state, you can see that Khan, he's in this awkward state where he just sort of ping-pongs a lane into Nuguri and then looks to roam around on the Valor. FLICKR, he's just going to keep doing this.
See you later, mate. Klid is going to come in and pick himself up the kill. FLICKR ran out of buttons, but that was all him. And that's what happens when you're walking around your jungle. Both of these teams can do this, and that's why it's so interesting. It's almost like the win conditions are the same, and SKT found the position this time around. Showmaker flashes to get himself out, though wishes he still had that ultimate, but he doesn't. Canyon stole it. He used it against the wall as Canyon now in trouble. He's going to get taken down. Klid gets another one. Noguri dives into the backline as FLICKR's just darting around, staying out of trouble, but keeping his health bar low enough to bait them all in. Teddy gets that last kill, and Beryl, he's running towards a jungle that's devoid of any of his friends anymore.
And you know, this is one of those really bizarre spots where DAMWON, they have tools to check the Baron. They didn't need to face check the Fog of War, and they did. In SKT, they were really quick to pounce. There's no way for DAMWON to hold on to a Baron push without just bleeding several thousand gold.
Yeah, they're going to need to find kills in order to stop this Baron, because there's no counter siege in this composition apart from a Talia, who is now very single target with that wave clear, as Brendan Valdez, of course, told us. And
you check, you see this where the Kai'Sa is on the minimap. She would be able to check with the Void Seeker if they're actually on the Baron. And so, talk about this very often, sometimes teams are really poor at approaching Fog of War and deducing what options might be available. Okay, well, Showmaker is the showstopper this game, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. This show is not going to be going on for too much longer on DAMWON's side
like
if these things are going to keep up. Not in cinemas very long. DAMWON versus SKT thus far. It is a best of 5, guys, so DAMWON can turn it around. But the thing that is really rough about this is that SKT, not only are they known for their ability to best of 5, DAMWON has been able to take them down in the past. Of course, notably being able to deny the Dream Team the finals position against Griffin in the Kesper Cup earlier on. DAMWON were trying their very best to find themselves a catch, but FLICKR doesn't allow that. He's got himself a Zhonya's completed as well, so even more safety for the LeBlanc.
And this 1-1-3 is so hard for DAMWON to try to answer to.
They're like, where is their ranged wave clear? It's just not there. I mean, even Nuclear isn't a very long-range AD
Basically,
carry.
it's only Talia.
Yeah.
Weaver's Wall coming out.
Yep, that is Klid's one. His walls in the Sandbox series were amazing as Nogari's looking to try and force this. He's taking way too much damage, and Teddy's going to be able to pick up that kill. Barrel into the backline, but he has to exit immediately. Effort's going to go down very low as Showmaker did find a decent flank. They do get one of the kills as now Khan's trying to make his way forward. Another wall came in, though, and that actually denied Quinn from getting entry to Nuggery in trade for effort, though, and that is probably not worth it from a DAMWON side, despite the fact that they do alleviate a lot of pressure. Oh, my goodness. If FLICKR didn't block that,
body block it,
then that would have been a very dead Clid, and it looked like FLICKR was trying to get out of the way.
We're going to get a nice replay of that fight, I'm assuming, in just a second. But Clown Dragon coming up in 10, so very imperative. Yeah,
not exactly a fiery day today, so a quick shot is going to be
this is a solo QS kill.
Yeah, this is like the Quins from all of our games. We've experienced this one before.
Well, all right. Here's where it started. Now, I have no idea what Nuggery was thinking right here. He comes in onto Clid. FLICKR goes golden inside of the Zhonya's. Look at where Khan's coming from. So he could have raised the top tier 2 turret during all of this, and SKT could have backed up. He actually took a really bad angle because had he sandwiched them in between the wall, even if he gave his own life, SKT would get more out of it.
Yeah.
And so that didn't end up happening. Nonetheless, as we do return to live, SKT, I mean, they have a 6,000 gold lead, or just over a 6,000 gold lead. That turret is about to fall to the Baron minions.
That is only going to push that gold lead further. 4.2 thousand is the lead here. Is the Baron power play, sorry. 4.5. It's going up, but 1 second to go, and the Baron has worn off. So DAMWON do keep their base alive, but this game took a gigantic turn for the worst, and DAMWON's going to have another one of those heroic team fights that they were able to show us in the last series that they faced against SKT. It's a very different story, though. There is not a lot of parity between these two squads. FLICKR is gigantic in comparison to Showmaker. 1-3-2. This is the guy that we were building up moving into this. He was the guy that was supposed to give FLICKR the most trouble in the mid lane in this gauntlet run, and so far this has been one of the more impressive laning phases from FLICKR, and also one of the best games that we've seen out of him as well.
It's a very big minion wave pushing into SKT. It'd be a shame if SKT froze the bottom lane, especially because Quinn is so fast at moving across the map. There's still a minute and a half until Baron, and so no obligation to do anything. But Klid's actually just going to shove it right back in. SKT suggesting that they want to skirmish immediately.
Yeah. A few items coming in here as well, as Khan's got the Infinity Edge done. We've got an Oblivion Orb as well as the Sork Boots coming in for FLICKR, very close to that Morellonomicon, which we know you love so much. Even a Haunting Guys there from Klid.
Not like this.
Yeah, not like this. But, you know, denying healing, not too bad. Actually, I mean, cull the meek.
I'm gonna walk off.
Healing, mate.
I'm
What about the cull the meek healing, man?
All right, TP coming into the middle of the lane by Teddy. Now with Home Guard, let's see what he's actually doing here by using his TP.
Well, I mean, Teddy just likes to get back to lanes as quickly as possible. That's how he uses it.
He would be in about the same position that he is, or almost the same position. He'd be a little bit slower on this wave, but he would still have his TP.
Yeah.
So,
but also, I mean,
he's an AD
carry. It's not like you're going to be flanking on a Lucian. We've
What
seen
if,
those things
you know
happen
what?
before.
Do you remember when Ghost won with a TP on the Nexus?
Hey, that's true. That
See?
did happen.
Don't just waste your summoner spell, Atlas. Come on.
He might just be able to win at the Nexus.
He could have even
Anyway.
pit-stopped it Wolves,
That's true.
like he just did, okay?
Okay.
Had he been running from the base.
FLICKR taking a little bit of damage there. It is the AP variety of the
Oh,
Kaiser.
are they just going to coin flip?
They're going to dive right on top of it. They've got a lot of damage. Remember, both teams have this Mountain Drake as the Weaver's Wall is going to cut this one in half. The culling there as well, as it is going to be the Baron secured by DAMWON. And everyone is over the wall. Speaking of walls, they light it up there as Showmaker's able to stun a lot of SKT members. SKT now trying to make the best of a bad situation, moving into this mid lane, but Nuguri is going to get there. Improved recalls come back again, and DAMWON, they just stole that Baron right out from under SKT, and all they lose is this inhibitor turret. That is a big deal, but now it's not going to be SKT able to fall back to any Barons, and DAMWON have bought themselves some time.
Yeah, DAMWON, it's almost unacceptable that they're able to do that. SKT, Teddy teleported into mid to make sure that they could get all of the vision and set it up properly, and yet still, DAMWON were able to sneak the Baron, and so now, with the Baron minions, the bolstered stats, they're trying to march down mid. Remember, they're the ones on a timer. LeBlanc has hit that point in the game where almost any target is going to be a potential isolated kill for LeBlanc. Teleport by Nuguri, he has, or teleport available for Nuguri as he's recalling.
He's 50 CS behind, as is Showmaker. This is actually a game which is really interesting because DAMWON don't often play around their bottom lane. Often the solo lanes that are able to win out, but this time it's going to largely be on Nuclear and how he can use all of the farm that he's actually been given in this game. Khan is going to pay some attention here to the Ocean Drake on the bottom side, probably wanting to cycle this as soon as possible to try and get towards that Elder. They will have a slight Drake advantage when that does come around, but without any Infernals, it's not exactly the hugest Elder Drake to worry about. But it is still going to be another buff that they can play for as this game goes on. Neither of these teams really excelling too much at the Siege without a Baron, and therefore more options to create a fight. It's probably going to be a good thing, but as this game goes on, where is the turning point? Is there a turning point where DAMWON are going to feel like getting behind Nuclear's Kaiser is going to be their win condition and SKT not going to have as many abilities to fight back? Or is this still SKT's game to lose?
Okay,
Khan in trouble. A lot of stuns and a lot of death. Killer Instinct there from Nuclear is going to be a comfortable one. And Showmaker stays up top. He did use the Ignite there in that kill as well. And going to shove that one forward. Now going to go back home. We'll see what items he can actually build here. He's only a couple of Dirks into the build. 1,000 gold is now done. He's 2,000 behind, and the Edge of Night has finally been secured for the Kiana.
So to answer the question, is there ever a tipping point for DAMWON? And realistically, no. You look at Renekton, he's capped off. He's going to conduct himself as the same champion from every item here forward. You look at the Kai'Sa, and she's also going to function pretty similarly. Yes, she's going to get more damage when she completes the Rabadon's death cap, but realistically, SKT don't practically fight the way that DAMWON would want them to for them to maximize such an item. And for Qiyana, she's already doing absurd amounts of damage. The only thing that she's going to get, potentially, is a little bit more utility in the form of maybe a Guardian Angel.
Well, Harrier does get used very effectively here by Khan. Not going to be roaming through and grabbing anything there, as those Krugs died extremely quickly. And flicks them back into DAMWON's open maw. FLICKR now split pushing on the top side of the map. He is so far ahead when it comes to farmers. We're going to check this out once again. Not a lot of opportunity for Khan to play League of Legends this time around.
Nope. Tried his best, almost able to kill Showmaker there, but not quite.
Does now have QSS, as SKT continue to have this gold lead, but you can see that DAMWON has pulled it back relatively well with that Baron play that they did make.
Yeah.
Losing an inhibitor turret, not going to be the end of the world. SKT unable to actually push the minion wave up towards threatening that inhibitor.
Looking like it's going to just go to Elder Dragon.
Yeah, bit of an Elder Dragon Baron battle.
Yeah, it's probably just going to be decided on Elder. You know what I want to point out right now, Atlas?
Yeah, point it out, man.
Take a look at that item on
Silas. The Leandri's Torment.
The Leandri's Torment.
I think that got him an MVP.
I talk about.
Didn't that get it? That got him your MVP vote right there.
My vote. I'll tell you that much.
DAMWON wins the game, gives it over to Silas instantly.
Better than that Morel and Nomakon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, Canyon's obviously just making the wrong choice, right? Because it looks like Morel and Nomakon is going to be coming in, but he is sitting on an Oblivion Orb and the extra Ruby Crystal, so maybe not. Maybe he's just going to hold on to the magic penetration.
Does seem like he might be a little bit of a savant if he doesn't elect to complete it.
Now Jungle is really understanding how to build items this game.
All right, well, actually, you're right. Spectre's Cowl completed, and that'll give him very much needed resistance against the LeBlanc pickoff, because that's what SKT's team composition is trying to do. Now, even if DAMWON look like they're posturing for vision, they're doing all of this stuff, remember the smoke and mirror is how SKT tries to win these fights. They try to pick and pry away at DAMWON and pull them in all sorts of directions via the Quinn and the LeBlanc. Bottom wave shoving in. SKT, they really need... Okay, well...
Yep, Beryl gonna have to dash to get himself out of there. Wow, it was very close to just being popped in one round, as FLICKR's gonna find some chains, but didn't have vision of the area. And SKT, they just have positional advantage. They'll move on over. They'll grab this inhibitor that they prepared earlier. The wall is going to fly in, but blocked there from Effort.
Oh!
As Canyon going to have to go golden. Showmaker here trying to protect him.
Beautiful
it's a good
timing.
ultimate there from Effort as well in the backline, but they're not able to take him down. Canyon is going to be able to limp out of there as SKT now with their eyes onto the Baron.
And now
Voidseeker's going to discover where they're going, though.
Oh, man. Well, Canyon, he doesn't have Weaver's Wall. He's going to have to run all the way back there.
This time for this particular fight, Showmaker does have the
Elder
supreme display of talent, though. As Beryl could be in trouble once again. The chains are not going to connect for the snare.
Oh, man. This is actually neck and neck. Elder is infinitely more valuable to both of these teams than Baron.
Yeah.
The Baron minions don't matter. Elder Drake being able to basically attack move through your opponent is a much bigger prize. But both of them fight over the Baron, then it's obviously going to be a massive edge. Remember, Canyon, no flash, no ultimate. This is going to be SKT's Baron.
Yep, it is going to be taken, but now can DWGN actually find the fight? The answer looks to be yes, it's Nuclear. Dives into the backline. He's got himself his Banshee's Veil and is going to be able to keep himself alive, but the rest of the team not so lucky as Beryl. So incredibly low. So low health bars on SKT's side, though, and DWGN can't actually chase into the enemy jungle. The minion waves were not kept in check on DWGN's
so
side.
Fast.
Yeah, and Khan's looking to try and make his way back forward. In fact, trying to get some stragglers moving towards this Elder Drake. Khan's there already. And Harrier is there also to spot out all the extra vision. Canyon looking to lock down this blue buff, and SKT, they're going to be uncontested moving towards the Elder. This is just way better controlled play from the SKT squad. Didn't even need to win a team fight. Just go over, they take what they can get based on the control that they have, and now with Baron buff, with Elder Drake, and with an open base on DAMWON's side, there are 2 Nexus turrets away from SKT, moving 1-0 up in this series, and also getting a blue side victory to start the series as well.
Well, does look like this could potentially be the last minute of the game. SKT, they only need 1 more wave. Khan escorted the mid-minion wave in. He's elected not to go top, which is a little bit surprising, given how quick Quinn is at getting across the map when needed.
Yep, probably going to tidy up this minion wave in the mid lane and then probably do that, as that's a big wave stacking up for SKT.
It's a massive wave in top lane, but Khan not going to it. Even though SKT, they have complete control over bottom, what this is suggesting is they want to end the game right now inside of this push.
And that wave's not going to bounce back for a while as well, as Seismic Shove's going to go wide. You can see, I believe those minions are even just going to take that turret down by themselves. Khan eventually going to make his way up there. They take down the second inhibitor of the game, and SKT, they're playing this one by the book. Moving their way over, they'll be taking down the enemy jungle. An inner turret fell as an afterthought, and now SKT setting themselves up for another siege. Okay, that's a hell of a lot of damage onto Showmaker. Can't really do too much, but it's a good double stun coming out. The Kiana getting the work done, and FLICKR is going to get picked. Really nice layering of CC from DAMWON's side, and it's going to alleviate so much pressure here for these guys.
Well, that's actually really sad now. So because SK Telecom, they didn't execute the lane manipulation correctly, it ends up resulting in the Baron and Elder going to fade. FLICKR, he's going to pick up a death cap soon. But just look at this. They can't actually perforate the top inhibitor turret. And this is a byproduct of Khan aimlessly running around in mid lane and doing nothing for about a minute.
Yeah.
They already were going to get the bottom inhibitor regardless. DAMWON were in no universe going to run headfirst, even with numbers advantage, 5v4, against an Elder Baron SKT. The Braum would have been able to shut every attempt down that DAMWON would have done. And so some lane manipulation errors on the side of SKT this game, but they're still in the driver's seat. And once LeBlanc completes that death cap, the Spectre's Cowls, they're not going to matter that much.
No. See what the next item is actually going to be from Canyon as well as we move forward. It was a Banshee's Veil done actually for Nuclear. It actually caught me by surprise because he had the needlessly large rod in his back pocket, decided that it wasn't going to be a death cap though, and the Banshees comes in as the final item. He's got himself a bounty. I mean, this Kai'Sa is relatively strong and pretty safe, given the Zhonya's Banshee's choice. Fair bit of damage as well. Rageblade able to be stacked up very effectively and has all of the evolutions available in Kai'Sa's kit. But DAMWON have been unable to find a decisive fight that's actually got them too much in the last 10 minutes or so. And SKT have been able to retain all of the map control that they created earlier. Really interesting compositions out of both of these teams means it's not easy just to go straight up the mid lane as SKT's composition, you know? They don't necessarily have dedicated frontline themselves, and the same can be said for DAMWON. So the way that this is played out is largely going to be around building up vision and taking down Barons and Elder Drakes. So 2 minutes until that Elder and a minute and a half until the next Baron.
Well, the Baron will convert immediately into the capture of the Elder, so eyes on the prize for who will end up getting that one. Khan still on this Valor, always in the wrong place. It's actually quite impressive.
Yeah, hanging out.
You know, he's like the, trying to think what it is. Oh, I forget what the name of it is. Never mind.
What?
I was thinking of a Harry Potter animal. It always got lost. Was it an animal?
The animal that was like, I do know the one you're talking about.
You know which one I'm talking about,
the one that looks
right?
a bit like a platypus.
It's always lost.
From the movie?
Yeah.
The Amazing Beasts movie? There's like... It's
I believe so.
picture.
Yes!
Yeah, yeah, the one that's running around and
go.
it's like stealing stuff. Is it a... It's not a Bogart, is it? Because Bogart's, that's the one that...
I have no idea.
That disguises itself as the things that scare you, so it's not one of those.
Also,
I'm sure
Khan
someone
has
will let us know on Twitter.
Lord Dominic's.
He does.
Which I was messaged recently, actually, about Lord Dominic's and Mortal Reminder. I was actually told that Mortal Reminder is almost always better.
Huh. Why?
But something to do with the numbers. but you know what? I'm not Freak, okay?
That's true.
Freak, he'd have the numbers for you.
He's that guy. He's the
that
numbers
guy. Yeah.
That's why I watch both of the patch rundowns, because
See?
you both give me something different.
Oh, Scar stopped, didn't he?
Well, he does the
He does
TFT
TFT
ones
now.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
it's just me and Freak remaining.
Yep. As FLICKR taking a bit of damage here as he dives to try and get a bit of softening onto the DAMWON squad. And now Khan's looking for the back door. They still have that inhibitor down, and DAMWON won't actually be able to stop this. Look at how incredibly fast he is. The weave as well comes in as Nuclear is on the wrong side, has to flash. They're just going to jump onto the Baron and hope for the best because the Quinn is looking to win the game. Gigantic ultimate stolen by Clid. He goes golden as well, and this is looking to be all over for DWG Gaming. They're winning a 4v5 team fight, our SKT, whilst Khan wins the game. And that is how we're going to do it. SKT, they win it all in a moment's notice. That game was looking right on the edge until that very end moment where SKT were like, all right, we win now.
And that's the type of play that they could have been doing all game long with the Quinn. You utilize her to pull the Renekton off the team, demand that he teleport to a fight, and then rinse, wash, repeat, do the same thing again. Quinn is way too mobile on the map for DAMWON's team composition to really answer, despite having a champion like Talia that can have basically a pseudo-global. And it doesn't matter because in this game, game state reached a point where DAMWON were too vulnerable, too open, and susceptible. And SKT, they eventually closed as DAMWON made a Panic Baron.
Yeah, the Panic Baron where they knew that the game was just going to be over, right? There was no actual chance of getting back there to try and stop the Quinn from just winning the game. I don't think they had enough time without a Baron-empowered recall right at the moment that they saw him moving on over, because he just had way too much damage. We're going to check this out. Look, the Quinn's making her way in.
Yeah, she's already inside of the base, and so at this point, the real mission is just stop the backs. Now, when Clid gets that kind of an ultimate, though, there becomes a real opportunity to just take the team fight, because everyone from DAMWON are so clumped up. LeBlanc Distortion's going to be able to do so much. And even Teddy, I mean, he's playing Duck Hunt right now inside of this Baron pit.
Yeah, Nuggery did manage to take him down in the end, but it was all about the Quinn not even having to be there, and SKT still winning a 4 versus 5 team fight. Clid starting up that fight so incredibly nicely, but FLICKR's LeBlanc was an absolute joy. And thanks for everyone letting us know that it is in fact a Niffler that we were referring to from Harry Potter, but we couldn't even have that conversation because all of a sudden, SKT decided that the game was over. So 43 minutes though, DWG, they kept themselves alive with a few of those heroic team fights. We saw like, I don't know, a few whispers of what DWG is capable of against SKT, but now that matchup, it's going to read 9 and 6. And SKT, they're winning the games when they count, right? And this is the thing, this is the problem, is that DWG hasn't had this high pressure of a situation and then a victory against SKT afterwards. Oh man, LS, we got a best of 5 on our hands here, and we'll see whether SKT are going to continue the domination or whether DWG can fight back after the break.
킥박. 카이저 높여. 바닥 끝내봐 이거. 견제만 해. 끝내.
우리 전진 간다 이거.
끝내.
아 이겼어. 천천히. 아 이겼어. 아까 이긴 거 같아.
끝내 이거.
나 바로 먹어.
네, 노플이야.
아 바로 좀 쳐줘.
이거
가야지.
끝났어.
잘 끝내야 돼.
나이스.
혼란, 카오스, 역대급 혼전이라고 읽을 수 있을 만한 상황.
역대급 암호를 찍다. 역대급 시즌입니다. 역대 원탑 SK 이런 적이 있었나요? 혼전 양상 1위가 맨날 바뀌어요. 맨날. 아 정말 역대급 SK예요. 멜레 범. 역대급 결승전을 시작하겠습니다.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LCK Playoffs 2019 Summer. It is round 2. The winner of this will be going to the final next weekend, and SKT already putting their best foot forward. Now moving on to the red side. The blue side victory is super important, and now they get red side, and it could almost be looking down the barrel of a 2-0 before it's even happened.
Why are you surprised? I told you. Alice.
But you know I have to still pretend. You know?
No, we don't.
For the viewers, so that we can tell a story.
We got it right here.
See what I have to deal with? And we're trying to create an exciting broadcast, right? And then you're just sitting there with all the answers in front of you.
You know what one of my favorite things to do is? Someone asked me about a book, I just turn to the last page. I read off the last couple of paragraphs.
And then you can tell them all about what happened in the book. Wow. Well, he's giving his secrets away. Let's see whether SKT and DAMWON are going to give away any new ones here in the draft for game number 2. DAMWON now on our blue side as the Aatrox is going to continue to get banned. It was Aatrox, Akali, and Xayah on the DAMWON banned side, as now SKT looking for their bans. And the Akali, of course, a red side staple ban, especially between these two squads. And I think the Sylas is going to be a contested one. If it is left available, DAMWON will first pick it. It was a huge factor for SKT in game number 1. Clit took a little while to get going, but he was farming his jungle so effectively, and you were talking about the rubber band camps that he was able to pick up, the fact that he was able to navigate that jungle just a little bit better than Canyon was.
Yeah.
And it was a cute little draft for DAMWON with their flex of the Talia back into the jungle as well. Everyone knows that she is strong. In the mid lane also, as the Ezreal to be banned here. Wasn't banned in the first round in game number 1, but DAMWON are going to take it off the board this time. Yuumi continues to be a staple ban in the playoffs. Only one game has she gotten through.
Well, we'll have to see what is going to be the first pick for DAMWON, as the final ban for SKT is still yet to be decided. It will end up being the Vladimir.
So they are going to give away the Sylas, in theory, as Xayah is actually going to be the choice. So it was a coin flip between the two. Xayah, of course, banned in game number 1. Now snapped up in game 2, and SKT, what are they going to head towards? This just shows that DAMWON are really putting a lot of priority on giving themselves a bottom lane that Nuclear and Beryl are comfortable in.
Yeah, they want to make sure that this time around maybe they have a little bit more autonomy down there in the bottom lane, as the Rakan can easily come in next to accompany the Xayah before the second ban phase, as Sylas is going to be locked in for SKT, still able to be flexed. Have to see what they're going to accompany this with. Now, if you know that you're going up against Xayah or Rakan, you can draft around it relatively easy.
Yeah, if you want to. 8 seconds to go now before SKT has made their decision. They can pick away the Rakan if they feel like, or they can set themselves up for the Tahm Kench and the Varus, which is what they've started to do here in theory. Teddy's Varus certainly being his laning choice that he goes towards, and Canyon just going to counterpick himself.
Ooh.
In that position, Faker now cycling through just about everything here, but the Jace snapped up so fast on DAMWON's side.
Jace and Sejuani both picked up really, really quickly. And so now SKT, they have 10 seconds to decide on something, and it does look like they will just lock in Sir Thomas.
Yep, bit of a no-brainer right there. Certainly has been SKT's go-to bottom lane, and it allows Teddy to play so much more aggressively down there as well. Effort just does what he's told, and devours Teddy when he requires it. And this lane can be very self-sufficient. So look for Clid to be playing a little bit more topside League of Legends this time around, or really trying to put the screws in to the bottom lane of DAMWON. But DAMWON did leave the Rakan on the table, so now can be banned away from SKT. They do so first off. Sorry, I had a peek at your script there just for a second.
Yeah, I saw. I saw you taking a look at it. It's all right. Well, now DAMWON, it's a little bit difficult to pinch away mid and top, which is why this kind of an opening from SKT on the red side is so nice. And also going to the second pick phase.
And also Faker's shown that he's happy to play a unique champion in every single game. So how are you supposed to ban things away? We did, of course, get the heads up that LeBlanc wasn't going to be played this game because she was played last game. And SKT are, in fact, not going to allow Showmaker to have a chance to play that champion either. I have a sneaking suspicion that Showmaker will be the man on the Jace in this game. does have a lot of lane priority from mid, and we've seen it cropping up more and more. Of course, Chovy being our best LCK example of a dominant Jace player, but around the world he has been rising in popularity in mid lane. Trying to get the best possible counter pick for Noguri has been the way DAMWON's won in the past, is sort of where my mind is at.
Kiana is still open and available. There it is.
Yeah, this will be the second time that FLICKR's played her, if it is in fact going to be going over to FLICKR. Still whispers that she can be played elsewhere, but it's been 100% mid lane Kiana thus far, so our expectation is that FLICKR is going to be making his first secondary appearance on a champion here in the playoffs.
Well, 5 seconds remaining now for DAMWON, as Braum is going to be the lock-in of choice.
Yep, trying to find a champion that can go against the Tahm Kench relatively effectively, and Braum has always been that guy. Now where does Beryl decide to lead this composition? Because it's going to be counterpick for Khan on the top side of the map. Or is the Intit to win it going to come through? Still a flex pick, still an opportunity for DAMWON to throw these solo lanes wherever they feel comfortable. We'll see. The Karma coming out is actually just really frightening, because we saw Sandbox try and do this against SKT, and SKT made it look like a 4v5.
All right,
there you go.
I gotta
they were taking
a little bit.
Yeah, they were taking a little bit too long, and you got a little bit antsy.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking to myself, you know, you need a champion into Karma or Jace. You also need a champion that is short range, durable, and able to fight the brunt of the force and synergize with the comp. And obviously, Ryze fits into that really well. So, wasn't looking at the script or anything.
Oh, you didn't even need to look at the script for that one.
I didn't even need to do it. I just wanted to let you know.
Just did the thinking this time?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll actually give you some real credit for that particular prediction, and they are going to alleviate some of their damage range issues as far as having too much physical, too much magic. It's what happens when you have a mid laner that is largely physical based. As that crab, the shell, is adorable.
That is really adorable. I wonder if that summons something. Maybe if you play it, you summon something. Sort of like playing the Pokeflute and summoning Snorlax.
Do you summon Snorlax? You wake him up,
you wake him up. I mean, you may as well summon him. He is a
just
god.
Like this gigantic Pokemon materializes out of nowhere.
Just go. Is that in a Moo? That is horrifying.
That's Emoo.
Now I see why he has no friends.
Always just makes me think of Cloud Templar. So does that, but in a more terrifying way. This is the DAMWON team, though, and they need to bounce back. This is going to be their biggest test of the series, because they need to show us that not only can they take down an SKT that has side selection in their favor, but also they can take down a squad after having a game one that went so horribly bad for them, especially towards the later stages. They had an honorable job as far as like staying in it as the game was going. As I believe we are going to have a redo on the champion select. Maybe something going wrong just a little bit there, but heard a whisper that perhaps we're going to have to rejig some stuff. Some parents in the audience here. As here we go. It's Showmaker's mom there in the audience, and you can see mom and dad not necessarily super psyched about how game number one went.
Son of Tom. What?
And Coma Handsome.
I'm not totally getting that message right there. I think they mean the previous jungler, SKT Tom, but
possibly. But there's also so we're going to start over pick ban because there was an issue with swapping some champions around. This has happened from time to time, guys, but we're going to be very quickly through this draft. It's going to be exactly the same. And FLICKR fly to the finals. As that's some really cool pitches, as you could see just there. Actually going to be
fighting.
Yeah, Noguri fighting. And FLICKR thinking that he may as well just lock in his champion, because why not?
Ooh.
As that's a Pantheon. He's disabled.
No, he's not.
Well, Ahri buff, please. That's why we've got that adorable Ahri picture there in the background, as you could see. And of course, with FLICKR on the Rift. FLICKR's Akali was one of the most exciting to watch, but that was a very long time ago. Man, this draft is going exactly the same as the Game 2 draft. This is one of the shortest game 2s of a finals that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
Welcome
this
to
is going to be
3, guys.
You know, I said earlier it was going to be a 3-0, but it's actually a 4-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
So SKT won that game that we didn't even play?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Wow, by default?
Yes.
And just from just the orgs, just general aura?
There was a vote.
There was a vote.
There was a vote, yes.
Voted on who won
Yes.
the game. All right, well, we're going to try and swap things around again. I mean, when
Chovy won.
When drafts like, oh god, reading more scripts. When drafts like are redone because players can't switch champions, I find it really interesting that we then still have to have the champion switched. Like, why not just like go straight down the line?
Why not just lock in your champion?
Yeah,
exactly.
And ban like Garen Gangplank and stuff like that. You know, don't really need to worry too much about what the bans are when we already know exactly what's going to be coming out here. As you can see, we do have the same rosters, the same compositions, and hopefully less of the troubles getting into the game number 2. Clit fans there in the background. Clit has been the linchpin. He has been the dominant force for SKT. Maybe not in game number 1 as much as FLICKR was, who was able to get that solo kill in the mid lane and make Showmaker irrelevant, and possibly even tilt this team to a point where it can be a real problem. Seal the deal. DAMWON win. We found the lone global DAMWON supporter.
Well,
hope you're enjoying the show, my friend. As we get into game number 2, it is the Jace on the top side of the map. The Karma is going to be mid lane trying to deal with FLICKR's Qiyana, and FLICKR is going to be trying to show Showmaker exactly how it's done on that particular pick. He's already got a victory on it in the playoffs. See whether he can make it too as we move into game number 2. Some interesting rosters, some different change-ups between these two squads. I feel like SKT going back to that mid-game style composition that they've got, but with some late-game insurance and things like the Rise and the extra range on the Varus. Do like what they have going on here as someone going to have to pray for a miracle to stop what has been such an incredibly fast-moving SKT. Let's see whether it can happen in game 2. T1 fans, of course, in full voice. As you can see, it's a lovely evening here at LOL Park.
Well, does look like the opening is going to be a 5-point start. Relatively defensive play out of both of these teams. No one wanting to risk anything super early on. And talking about the two-team composition, so the Varus and the Rise, accompanied with the Sylas and the Qiyana, they can go really late. Whereas on the flip side, the Xayah is going to be the really key component that's going to scale much further into the game than anyone else on the side of DAMWON. Even though Sejuani is going to get a lot more tanky and durable, and Karma will grow increasingly obnoxious, the way that DWG Gaming is going to conduct themselves in team fights will ultimately devolve down to what can and what can't Nuclear do inside of everything. And interestingly enough, though, Karma has Scorch, which doesn't scale at all. I would have really expected Gathering Storm, and so that's definitely a bit of a blunder on what's happening. So SKT, if they can make it to the 3-item mark, everything should be smooth sailing for them. DAMWON, their edge is going to come in at 1 item. On 2 item, it's really going to come down to positioning.
Well, we'll see whether they can make that happen. I think DAMWON has also got themselves a little bit more option when it comes to sieging this time around. And we'll just have to see how this game is going to evolve. I think that last game, it was some similar sort of win conditions and scenarios, but SKT ultimately able to win out, despite things going relatively well for Noguri topside. Some whoopsies made by Khan in the earlier stages were mitigated, as that's a big Jace in the middle of your screen. That's what happens when Noguri plays the Jace. We have to really highlight it. And Khan has the minion wave in a pretty fantastic position for him also. So Rise pretty comfortable. How has this matchup changed since the Rise change? I feel like I ask this question almost every single time we see the new Rise, but Rise versus Jace, how does it go? Who has priority here?
The matchup's pretty much the same. I mean, the real difference is that Ryze doesn't take the Aftershock anymore inside of the matchup. Historically, that allowed the old Ryze to actually go toe-to-toe with Jace and be basically a neutralizer for him, but the new Ryze taking the phase rush and whatnot, it's not that large of a dynamic change. Ryze also fits into this team comp, not necessarily just to go up against the Jace, but how he fits into the 5v5 mold.
And also, how they fit into the global game as well, because they've now got Abyssal Voyage and the Realm Warp. There can be some really fancy transitional plays coming out from SKT this game. So keep your eye out for where these SKT players are going to be maneuvering on the map. It's a cool Jace skin as well, I like that one. Canyon is here. Trying to see whether they can punish Khan's positioning. So far, Khan in a pretty good spot, but we are going to land the Arctic Assault, and that is going to be the first one coming out. Shock Blast also empowered, and Khan down to 200 health, and now Flashless on the top side. Noguri getting, once again, all the attention from Canyon.
Super early on, you would expect that Clid would just probably keep power farming unless he's going to go for a match or a counter gank. Don't really expect too much proactivity out of him, whereas Canyon can definitely be the one that looks for things early on, but Clid's going to come out ahead in terms of the jungle status anyway. He has a complete full clear. He got himself a Scuttle Crab as well. Everything's looking up for him.
And I think at this stage, like, if Clid once again has a fantastic game, that's when we have to ask the drafting question of DAMWON. Like, why leave the Sylas available and not pick that one away after the game one situation where everything went absolutely wrong? And it was largely based on Clid just having his run of the jungle and control of the map for a large portion of it, let alone being able to win a 4v5 basically off the back of a hijacked supreme display of talent.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here now as the mobility boots are picked up now for FLICKR. And so we'll have to see how Khan as well as Teddy and Effort manage their lane state so that this can be a worthwhile purchase for FLICKR in the mid lane.
10 CS behind is the Qiyana, but of course that's what we're expecting in a ranged versus melee matchup. Once again, going to be about that mid game, where the Qiyana's going to go, what she can get done. Clid back into his own jungle here as well. Checking in on the jungle CS, it is Clid once again farming way more than what Canyon's been able to do. Canyon getting a flash top though is certainly going to be a worthwhile thing, as Khan has to play a little bit more respectfully despite being extended relatively far at this stage. Does have his jungler in his back pocket. FLICKR clearing out vision on the top side also.
Oh, this is the timing though. They crashed a cannon wave, but the problem is that FLICKR, because of that control ward, he's a little bit too slow to move. As looks like he's found the Sejuani. I don't know if he can see those.
I don't think so either, but that's the ult into the wall, and that's first blood all too easily put together by SKT.
All right, well, Sedge is out of the game now.
Yeah,
so
at least for how long? A few seconds?
She's out of the game.
No, she's back.
Nope, she's really not. Clid's going to be level 6 really soon, and Canyon's still 4. Now, the one good thing, though, is that Canyon will get 100 bonus experience when he eats the Bramble back, because it's going to be level 6, he's level 4. You know me, I love to talk about rubber banding.
Yeah, do like it. Is Clid going to try and dash away here. Noguri bops him into the wall, but I don't know whether the flash was all that valuable here, but one more auto would have done it, but couldn't actually move forward into Khan in order to lock that one down. And Clid did have to use his flash, but he traded it with the top laner, which is probably still worth it in SKT's side of the map.
It also gave Canyon the ability to come over and eat the Scuttle Crab. Unsure what the level was on the crab. But nonetheless, still getting good rubber banding camps, and it's helping him recover.
What's the level of the Krugs? Because I think he's looking for those next.
I think the Krugs are level 6 too.
Nice.
Right, yeah. I would imagine so, as they're respawned during this clip, so.
Nice.
Yeah, they're either 6 or 5.
Well, that was a very, very dead Canyon in the jungle as Showmaker able to get himself a turret plate there in the mid lane. SKT with a slight advantage of about 500 gold, but otherwise nothing to write home about. This bottom side is Teddy and Effort playing out the Varus Tahm Kench lane exactly how you would expect.
Also, it looks like...
Oh god, Nuguri.
Okay.
A lot of damage there onto Khan, who's actually able to throw some damage back. Has Clit in his back pocket.
Nuguri doesn't have a ward. He's probably going to come down and plant one into the Tri-Brush. Oh, never mind, actually. It does look like Clid.
If he had
going to
read
come up and
that
clear the wave.
recall positioning, he might have actually been able to kill Khan with an empowered shock blast, but is not able to. Khan, like you were talking about, doesn't have the teleport or the realm walk available, so it's going to be a 12 CS advantage from Nuguri and a bunch of plates as well if Clid is going to vacate. He's not, and so a few of those CS that you can see as far as the jungle difference is going to be in that minion wave that he ate top side. DAMWON going to utilize the positioning of the jungle information they have on SKT to take this Cloud Drake. Unless FLICKR has something to say about it, Supreme Display of Talent is available, but he's not going to go in 1 versus 4, and DAMWON are going to be able to grab the first neutral objective of this map.
It is going to be a Clown Dragon. And so for a team composition that intends to run straight headfirst at the opponent and take them on, it's not the most impactful Drake, but for the Jace, if he is split pushing and then trying to join up with this team if he's lacking teleport, can help out a little bit in that regard. SKT, they're still fine.
Yeah, they're also playing like it's halfway through the first game, you know? They're still playing with that level of confidence here, just stealing everything away. Topside seems to belong to DAMWON Gaming, sorry, to SKT, regardless of where DAMWON are. As FLICKR thinks that he may have found someone yet again. Nuguri with the acceleration gate, looking to try and get out, but the abduct, the abscond. Clid throws out the prison. He's going to land it there onto Nuguri, but FLICKR taking so much damage as he dashes back forward. Doesn't quite get the damage out of the ultimate as the Qiyana does pick up the chase with the last tick of the ignite, but it's a 1-for-1 as the Silas goes down, and now FLICKR in the enemy base is looking to try and get himself executed or out of there. Showmaker comes forward, wants to get an auto attack, wants to get something to deny the execution, but he can't. Too mobile is the Qiyana. And that was actually cutely played by Showmaker, and also, yeah, like you say, gets the XP.
He does get the experience, and now meanwhile, down in bottom, Teddy pretty far up, but Sir Thomas making his way down.
Yeah, you see how much Beryl respected Sir Thomas. It's a
Look
rival.
Look at the waddle. An absolute savant.
He is. Utterly.
Yeah.
Wanders into the grass.
So handsome.
He is.
Majestic, really. Yeah.
He does have that just, that look
that
of
aura,
poise.
right?
Yeah.
His presence speaks volumes without him having to utter a word.
Yep.
You know?
Sometimes, you know, attractiveness comes from how you carry yourself, and I think that is exactly what Tom
Beauty
Kench
is
about.
in the eye of the beholder, or in the belly.
Unless it's Tom Kench, in which case, beauty is objectively what he has. It's FLICKR and Clid back into the mid lane, and okay, Showmaker, he's going to walk up a little bit too far there as Clid is going to root him down. Actually, no, going to be rooted there as Canyon turns up, but doesn't really have too much of an opportunity. The Realm Walk to come in, and that's going to get the flash out from Canyon. The flash forward from FLICKR is going to secure it, waits for his buttons to come back, presses F, and that is going to be that. Beryl now wandering the bottom side jungle, but SKT, they own the top side like they were given 2 sides of the map at the beginning of this game.
Oh, Khan.
Still actually trading relatively well here, not allowing himself to get bullied by Nuguri. He's out of potion charges though. Nuguri's still sitting on 1.
Well, FLICKR with those mobility boots. Now, this is what I was mentioning early on with them. It's going to really matter how the side lanes can set up for him, because otherwise all that he's going to end up doing with the early buy is trying to look to secure constant vision around River. As we take a look at the replay, they come in here onto Showmaker, but the Karma sustain, the shields, as well as the W healing, a little bit too much. But then FLICKR goes over the wall.
Yep, EQ'd to death. Very, very swiftly. SKT grouping around Shelly for the moment. Nuguri, acceleration gate there. My God, how did that even happen? As Khan is going to pick up the kill, but all of SKT playing that pick off so well.
Oh, no.
Wow. Sometimes the bouncy castle isn't the right place to be.
I'm so sorry.
Are we okay?
No. Neither is he.
No. No, not at all.
Oh, man. Oh. All right, well.
Bit of a shocker so far. For Nogari. He did a fair bit of help at the beginning of games 1 and 2. Not quite able to turn it into anything too positive. Game's still in the very early stages, but a 3,000 gold lead is nothing to scoff at. As we're going to have a look at this once again. Oh, God, that's what happened. I thought it was SKT.
He was playing
well,
Minesweeper.
Instead, yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah,
he did not do the calculations on that particular square. As speaking of calculations, in comes Clid and FLICKR. And this gank duo is looking to do it so easily. Gianna picks up another one. I don't even know. Did he need the Ignite? He used it. I don't know whether he even needed it in that particular scenario. Wave going to be shoved into the mid lane, and the Mountain Drake is now going to be collected from SKT. Rolling pretty high so far this game. They give away a Cloud Drake. Don't care about that one and grab themselves a Mountain, looking to have that extra advantage. And DAMWON, they're going to use this scenario to sit in the brush bottom side and see whether anyone walks down from the river.
Oh, man. I mean, I feel like this is also often a sign when your play or choices in the game ends up devolving to this point.
Yeah.
After losing out so much. I really feel like it's just one of those hallmark signs of desperation that you often sometimes see in teams. Last game we saw it inside of the Panic Baron attempt. Now we're starting to see them set up for things that just make no sense whatsoever. And so they're probably very emotional at this point, and I can't blame them. I mean, they only have one more game after this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know?
I mean, LS is the leaked script for a reason. Could have waited until at least game 2 to leak it, instead of in our opening words. That's okay. Come to expect this, guys. Know how this one goes. Being said, DAMWON could try and go off script. So far, they've been playing into it relatively effectively. It hasn't been a game where they've got to really play with too much agency. It's all about answering SKT's pressure at this stage. It's going to be another Cloud Drake in 4 minutes' time, so don't look for too much action around there, as Shelly is still on the map. No turret plates available, but still the ability to push down one of these turrets is going to be pretty important for SKT. We do want to play around a relatively dark map for DAMWON, given FLICKR's Kiana that he does have available to him.
Does look like they're waiting for Showmaker to maybe walk up inside of the lane. They have vision control on the left-hand side.
So much.
And it's a 4,000 gold lead almost here at 15 minutes. And you would have expected that DAMWON would be the ones with the gold lead. The fact that SKT, with the superior scaling team composition, has the advantage. I mean, I don't have to really spell it out for you, but
yeah,
DAMWON's looking like Dom lost this game.
It's really rough, though, because you look down the line at SKT's lanes, and yes, you can see the team composition scales very well, but also they have a lot of lane priority in a lot of areas. Also, I mean, Varus Tahm Kench is a lane that you're always going to be comfortable in, and with the amount of jungle attention, FLICKR's turned his lane into a positive one as well. And even Khan been fighting back effectively on the top side. He's 500 gold ahead of Nogari, as Shelly's going to make that even worse for DAMWON. I think they've been playing around their strengths and their weaknesses exceptionally well on SKT's side. And Clid, this is the gauntlet Clid that we've come to expect. He is so damn good at the moment. And yeah, he got the Sylas 2 games in a row. That is probably a blunder for DAMWON, but you still need to pilot it effectively. And I think that if DAMWON don't ban the Sylas in game 3, something has gone exceptionally wrong. There's the flash forward. Okay, Khan tries to get the E first before the W. That's why it's never all too easy now with this particular version of the Rise to get these picks. They do get the flash for flash. Yeah.
You know,
old Rise just presses F and W at the same time and you die, basically. Especially here in the LCK, where we had some of the best Rise players. His less recent iteration, FLICKR being one of them. This time around, though, he's playing Assassins. He's played Assassins, I believe this is his 5th or 6th time on an Assassin in a row. in the playoffs. It's been fun to watch as Khan takes a full shot blast to the face. It's cleared now 1 versus 2. Probably wants to get out of there as Teddy has no interest in fighting that fight. He just wants to blow down this turret. Someone going to return the favor on the top side. They do it a little bit earlier. We'll see whether they can actually utilize that tempo situation, but Showmaker in the mid lane's just trying to claw his way back into this game, so no man advantages for DAMWON around this map.
Another Cloud Dragon coming up in 45 seconds. SKT probably going to just be in position to freely take that one. Has effort. Just strolling around. He's looking for vision.
Yep. Magnificently as well, I might add.
Look at him.
Just recalling on the wards so that DAMWON can bask in his magnificence as well.
It really is quite holy to witness. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get much more pure than this right here. Oh. Oh. Wow.
Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You were captured by it.
I
right?
was. I was enraptured. Enraptured
right.
entirely.
I get it. You know.
Yeah. Enraptured is a weird word now because of BioShock.
Okay.
Remember the place was called Rapture? It was real scary.
I don't play any games that aren't League of Legends, okay?
What?
And don't even bring up to me
I only get analysts that don't know what video games are. Harbor Smithy's another one. You know, he's married to League of Legends, and it is very monogamous. Seems to be the same thing. You dabbled in TFT, but
don't even talk to me about it.
That ship sailed pretty fast.
Yeah, it did. It sunk like the Titanic.
DAMWON now find themselves with a decent minion wave moving into this mid lane. Showmaker going to teleport forward as well. Abyssal Voyage going to be the answer as now SKT is looking for their way in. The flash forward as Effort gets in there. Chains of Corruption are going to lock up DAMWON, but they haven't lost anyone yet. And even though 5 members of SKT turn up, they're not able to lock down any sort of kills. Teddy investing flash into that moment as well is big, especially when it's a Varus. It's FLICKR now looking for this flanking play. Duskblade is going to pop off, shows him that DAMWON do have vision of that flank, and they just brute force the mid lane, and that is one of the first proactive plays we've seen out of this squad that are playing around their mid-game spike with this composition.
Well, they're still down about 4,000 gold. Karma started off with Luden's Echo, but they're going to go into Athene's Unholy Grail shortly thereafter. Also, Nuguri with the lethality, he's going to be able to make use of that for quite a while, although Rise now going to be picking up the Frozen Heart next, it does look like.
Yep, going to be heading that way.
I mean, Rise, he presses a lot of buttons.
He does.
He does do that.
He's got his Seraph's
What is your
Embrace
favorite
as well.
iteration of Rise?
My favorite iteration was the Moscow 5 Rise.
Is that the Overload with MS?
Yeah, that was the favorite. No skill shots. That was the the god tier. Yeah. I know you're an Annie player. I knew what the
what? I don't play Annie.
You're an Annie advocate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice save. There you go. Join the church, Atlas. Right? You might get gold.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We basically hand it out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean that sounds like a good church. I haven't been much of a churchgoer in the past, so this will be my first experience, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Can even get diamond.
Do you call it Church of LS?
Church of Annie.
Oh, Church of Annie, okay. I don't know whether I like that as much as the Church of LS. What about the Church of Thomas?
There's no church.
Saint Thomas's church for the good opinions.
The best way to hide it is to pretend that it doesn't exist. We're all secretly followers.
Ah, okay,
you know?
okay.
I guess it's not that much of a secret.
Not a question, there's an ultimate answered by an ultimate in the mid lane. Supreme display of talent was feather-stormed away. But SKT do have position around this turret.
Canyon.
Yeah, Canyon in the side. Does have options for a flank. Showmaker making his way in as well, but SKT have other ideas. South of the outer turret mid lane, they are in position. Nuguri clearing out some wolves. Showmaker heads towards topside, and SKT should have the ability to move forward and get more damage on this turret, especially with Beryl getting slightly chunked. Canyon being herded off to the side also. Showmaker will make his way back down, and it will be the 5 versus 5 in the mid lane.
I think that we're in a bit of a lull state.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Nayram situation going on, but it was only for a very short amount of time before the reset was opted in for by DAMWON and SKT.
Do you know what comes out next week?
What comes out next week?
It Chapter 2.
Oh my goodness! I really need to.
We're going.
Yeah, we're
You're
definitely
not
going, and
dodging me
I need to watch the first
You need to
remake
watch.
as
Yes,
well.
you do.
Looking forward to it. I've been watching The Boys.
I don't know what that is. It sounds like a Twitch chat meme.
Yeah,
The
I don't know,
Boys.
basically.
What?
It's a good show though. You know, it's about superheroes and stuff. You like that?
I do.
Yeah, it's like the opposite side of the Avengers story, I guess.
Oh, man.
About
Okay.
like corporate corruption and things like that. It's actually really cool.
Okay.
I like it. Don't want to give too much away, but I
You don't want to leak the script?
no, that's your job. That's your job. So you got to watch it and then leak it. But I sort of liked it and then didn't like it and then liked it again, as Clid is going to hijack an ultimate, throw it out, not find a target, and then move on back. Everything going to be okay on either side, but Clid not going to have that R button available for quite some time. FLICKR does have his back again, though, as Abyssal Voyage gets F at a very short distance. Realm War going to mean that the Rise can get in here as well. Supreme Display of Talent is going to lock down one. Teddy secures it with a hail of arrows. And now Khan on the front line looking for more. Beryl puts up the door, keeps himself alive, but he couldn't save his top laner. As SKT now, with one extra person, move towards once again the outer turret in the mid lane. Canyon's here. He's got an itchy trigger finger on that Glacial Prison as FLICKR
man.
moving his way around. Nuclear could be in trouble.
Oh,
he
stole
spotted that
it.
as, yeah, FLICKR's going to have the Supreme Burst damage. Going to be able to lock down that red buff, and SKT will be able to get the second Mountain Drake of this game. DAMWON, only one dragon allowed in game number 2.
Well, they get the second mountain for themselves, and this means that Baron is so scary
Oh, yeah.
right now for DAMWON Gaming, who seem all too intent on playing the Nayram strategy here, as they have been neglecting their side lanes for a while. But now a ping goes down onto bottom by Nuguri, who's continuing on into the lethality tree.
He's probably looking for 1v1s more than anything else, probably trying to find that Rise. We have a look at this fight once again, and that's
nice
a flash R button from FLICKR.
There was basically no way out of this, and you have to ask yourself, why is DAMWON in a position like this when Dragon was coming up so soon and their side lanes looked the way that it did? Because there's no universe that they ever get that mid-tier 2 turret.
Yeah, I mean, why are they sieging an inner turret with an outer turret left on the map, right? They could have been using Nuguri to split, and they've been protecting this turret so effectively so far in this game, because their wave clear is huge. I mean, they do have the Karma, the Jace, lots of different options here this time around. It's not the same as their comp from game number 1, which was going to struggle so much in the wave clear department. If DAMWON wants to, they can play 4-1 pretty comfortably with what they have. 1-3-1 also could be a thing, but the Karma has struggled to stay alive in a lot of situations this game.
Interestingly enough, though, actually, Rise, or Khan, rather, picking up the Oblivion Orb is really surprising. There's an argument to be made for Morel and Omicron this game because Rise can deal a lot of damage to several targets, so it's going to impact Showmakers, Athene's Unholy Grail. But there's so much magic resist already present on the side of DAMWON that just having a Void Staff and shredding through the front line probably is going to deal more than the healing that you would prevent.
And third item timing on a Void Staff often feels pretty good when it comes to the scaling of that item as well. So a few reasons why that's cool. As Clid reached the end of his hijack limit. He's going to throw that one out just to get it off his bars. We do have Runon's Hurricane completed, though, from Teddy. He's got 3 items, a hell of a lot of Baron damage now available on SKT's side, with the double Mountain Drake as well as all the scaling attack speed and the Blade of the Ruined King as Clid's going to dive forward, lands the Abscond, Canyon gets out, ultimate. Going to get a mini stun there from FLICKR, but Canyon's going to be safe after the Arctic Assault. And SKT just testing the waters, not actually giving anything away at this stage apart from a little bit more of Clid's health bar than they would have otherwise liked. As DAMWON just repositioning around this Baron pit, they can take the irremovable vision available from this one, but DAMWON are just going to do it. They're rolling the dice once again. They've done this so many times this series. Half the health bar of the Baron goes missing as SKT have 5 members here cleared. Can throw out the ultimate, lands it right into the backline as Nuclear gets a huge shield. FLICKR is exhausted, takes a whole lot of damage, and finally is taken down. Yeah, the Luden's proc going to be enough to do it there from Showmaker. Now Khan finds himself 1 versus 4, but Phase Rush going to get him out of there as well. Canyon actually turning this situation around as Teddy wants to get some autos, but he can't stand still without being threatened to die. And now Effort just runs himself into the turret because he knew he was going to go down. DAMWON have found another heroic team fight.
That's a really, really big team fight that they needed to keep themselves inside of this game. Bringing FLICKR down, repelling so many of the members. Yes, they were pulled off of the Baron, but they got so much accomplished. We're going to look at it one more time. You can see SKT. They really wanted the Scuttle Crab inside of this fight. Sejuani ultimate, it hit nuclear, but right at the very end there, Effort getting hit. Luden's Echo Proc goes off and kills FLICKR. Karma coming in so big right there with all the movement speed bonus, able to keep getting back onto SKT. Effort and Teddy, they tried to turn. Karma is just such a monster in these scenarios where they're small skirmishing, 3v3s, 4v4s.
And when the burst damage doesn't actually find kills, that's when Karma is so strong. It's extending the team fights that she's so good at. Was able to do so and now has an Ardent Sensor completed, as well as Khan going to Realm Walk his way out of that situation. Realm Warp, I should say. There's now FLICKR wandering over some vision here, but he's got the Dusk Blade, so spots it, gets rid of it.
Athene's on Holy Grail, or Ardent and Athene's on the Karma now.
Yeah, exactly. The item spike is in.
This is the nuclear show.
We saw how long Canyon stayed alive in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like, there were so many things that the Karma was able to do. This is the mid-game where the Karma composition works so well. SKT are going to have to be careful to play around what is a very strong DAMWON despite being down the entire game. This is 3 items on Xayah. This is 3 items on the Karma. And even the Jace is able to chunk the squishy members. Teddy taking a lot from that Mantrid Q.
Cloud Dragon is live. And because it's not going to be taken before 30, it does mean that the next dragon that will spawn is going to be Elder. Oh, man. No.
Well, Khan's going to move on in as there's the hijacked ultimate onto Canyon, but he's taking so much damage and just tanking through it. Absolutely fine with the Aftershock there as the Silas is just obliterated. They don't have the burst to lock down the Sejuani.
They don't have the burst to lock her down, but it looked like also Clit and FLICKR were just on totally different universes with what engage they were going to attempt to do. So I'm not really all that sure. Now, the one good thing is that they didn't lose anything other than Clit's life. It's not like he expended a flash.
Yeah, and it's not like this is an Elder Drake or something like that as well. So
and they're not losing control over the Barret. Are they trying to cheese it? They are.
Oh my god, Beryl's going to be right here.
Oh, FLICKR.
Yeah, he's going to get hit by the Q and just deleted. Nuclear's going to lock down that kill now as Khan. He's going to get permafrosted. Canyon in the front line, but Aftershock is going to wear off. Gets himself the shield, gets out DAMWON. The whole landscape of this game has changed in the last few minutes.
Really surprising to me is that they have Realm Warp on Rise. They have double Mountain with a almost 4-item Varus, Kiana, Rise. They can shred right through the Baron.
Yeah.
Almost instantly. And you can see it looks like Showmaker, he's keeping tabs on it because they don't have a ward for it right now. But even if there is a ward, you can just Realm Warp right in there, eat the Baron, and then take a team fight. It's really surprising to see them not doing it. Right there, FLICKR. That's like when you hate someone in solo queue and you just let them die.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was just there.
Did he try to Audacity through the wall or something like that and fail? I'm confused as to why he wasn't in the fight. He's just standing there, right?
Yeah.
It was a strange situation. Showmaker down towards the bottom side, clearing out this wave. Pretty easy there as well. As you were talking about 4-item Varus, the Bloodthirster is now completed. Double lifesteal. He is very strong, is Teddy, on this Varus. But the problem is he also dies extremely quickly if DAMWON focus him down. And we saw in that last fight, there were no opportunities for him to stand and deliver. That's a huge ult, though, into the wall. Canyon has to get the hell out of there. Aftershock comes in. Beryl keeps himself alive with the stopwatch. Another great ult comes in, and finally Sejuani is going to be taken down. SKT, they found the pick that they were looking for. Now SKT can turn towards the Baron if they would like. You mentioned how much damage they have. They definitely know that too.
Khan is very low on HP, though.
Well, still looking to try and turn. Effort with the thick skin. Only a couple of seconds on that one now after 9:16, but uses it in order to get himself to relative safety. SKT can't be too overconfident here because the Karma is still alive.
The war of attrition.
Effort, and to be taken down very low. FLICKR doesn't have the ult, but does still have flanking position, but it doesn't seem to matter. DAMWON just have too much damage. The Xayah, with all the items, is doing so much work, and now frontlining, he's taken down. What a mistake there from Nuclear, and the Varus is now starting to pop off. Flash forward, Nogari is going to land as well. And now Showmaker underneath his turret. The quadra kill is there, but Teddy just wants to take down the structure and possibly even a Baron.
Canyon really close. You can see effort right there.
Corruption.
Teddy heals all the way back up. They can 3-man the Baron. They absolutely can 3-man it.
Yeah, Teddy can tank it for basically forever. He's got the double lifesteal coming in. Canyon, he knows this.
Goes down so quickly.
Oh my god,
but
this
so
Varus
Thomas
is so strong.
Wait,
be careful. Be careful. He's going to flash. He's going to get out of the way, and Canyon's not even going to contest. That is the Baron secured, and ideally, it is picked up by Teddy's auto attacks there as well. 4 items, 700 gold bounty. Let's have a look at this one once again.
Yeah, we take a look at this. FLICKR starts this off with his ultimate, knocking them both up. Now, Beryl gets into his Zanyas, basically. As Khan comes over, they end up chain lashing Canyon to his death right there, telling the Poro that he is not acceptable. Now, the Rise ultimate was really strange. I thought that they were going to Rise ult immediately into the Baron and eat the Baron. This fight was taken because they can't win the war of attrition, but they didn't respect the exhaust. FLICKR got exhausted right away. It actually looked like DAMWON were just going to take it down, but then Clid, getting that knock-up right there, gave Teddy the opening that he needed to just plow through.
Yeah, and Teddy took it with open arms there as well. 5-0-1 now is this Varus. Still has about a 50 CS advantage, and now a BF sword in his back pocket as well. I hope that that's an Infinity Edge. If you're going to do this much damage in a team fight, Teddy, may as well augment it even further, in my opinion. Close to Showmaker picking himself up is Rabadon's death cap, though. There are opportunities where DAMWON are able to fight back, but Nuclear cannot be stepping too far forward like that. This is a composition that thrives in having teamfight positioning that can slowly move through their opponents. SKT is the team that wants to be bursting someone out, but DAMWON wants to be going for a slow and steady fight, switching aggro a lot. They can't have a Xayah in the front line, even if she does have so many shields available, because SKT will be able to burst her.
And the scary thing about this upcoming team fight is that DAMWON, they're down a lot in gold, and normally I'm someone that advocates that, well, gold scores can be misleading. Here, it's really not that misleading. If Nuclear can stay alive, that's one thing, because obviously DAMWON, they went out on War of Attrition. The problem is that SKT's items now, at this point in the game, the base scaling on all the champions, it is going to be so hard for DAMWON to, if they make one error, SKT can just plow right through.
Well, FLICKR's going to dive over the wall, looking for the ultimate timing here. Elder Drake down to half health as Clid's over to the side, finds himself the prison, lands it onto Canyon. Not the target they're looking for, but Beryl is chunked almost completely out of this fight. Not going to find too much as we're trading blows on every side. We're looking for FLICKR desperately on the DAMWON side. They see him turn up.
Oh, Seraph's misused.
Yeah, not going to happen.
War of Attrition still in full effect. Teddy. Oh, man!
Yeah, taking that half health, but Clid's going to get another smite in these playoffs, and Canyon has to get the hell out of there. DAMWON still looking for a teamfight as effort going down very low. Realm Warp going to be opted into by only Teddy, who gets himself off to the side as now Clid, being the hero, soaks up all the aggro, and SKT, they get the Baron, they get the Elder Drake, and they get out.
It does look like they're all just going to recall right now. Now, there's only 20 seconds remaining on the Baron, but the Elder, that's the really scary item, because now they can just attack move almost through DAMWON, who before, you can see in moments like this, it gets very scary because the Karma is offering so much healing, but as soon as they got the Elder, Clid won the smite. They pulled the trigger to try to go in, DAMWON, they try to retreat, and then eventually repel SKT back, and then at that point, becomes a full-on retreat where SKT are just trying to keep their members alive, so we can get a recall off perhaps complete items get elixirs. And Infinity Edge completed for the Varus. He probably has an elixir on him as well, but we can't see right now.
He's got a lot of effects running on him at the moment with that Elder Drake being there. Khan on the bottom side of the map. Pirate Rise very comfortable right now, just looking to build a pretty cool hat. Already critting for tons and tons of damage. FLICKR here also just trying to hula hoop his way through the side lanes. And Clid patrolling the jungle. This is very comfortable for SKT right now as Beryl. Going to get his own ult thrown at him, but the door is there to mitigate a whole lot of that damage. He's going to be okay as the Chains of Corruption flashed by Beryl.
Now, some viewers, they might wonder, well, what is the tipping point that I was just alluding to where it became the nuclear show? If you go down the list of all the champions items right now on DAMWON side, you'll see that Jace is essentially the same champion 2 items forward. He's been conducting himself the same way in the team fights. The Karma comes online with the
Teddy
death
gonna get ulted, but there's the Devour coming in for effort. Thitskin not even able to be used as now Teddy trying to kite this one out. He flashes so much damage here from the Varus, and the Supreme Display of Talent is also there. Nuclear getting chunked out, but he's still alive. That's the important part. He's burning down, and the Silas grabs the kill with the red buff. SKT, they've picked up the Xayah, the key point of this composition from DAMWON, and they can now do anything that they want.
Well, they're definitely going to get the mid-tier 2. The Elder Dragon buff is about to run out.
God,
and
Teddy
now
is so scary, man.
Yeah, he'll heal up off the entire wave. You can see that. He's back to full right now. 32 seconds on Nuclear. SKT, they might try to end the game.
We'll see whether they can here. Showmaker is still there, able to give these big shields around, and Noguri does have damage potential, but do they have enough is the question. You see SKT, they just want to win this game. Look at the damage to these turrets. Minion wave dealt with. SKT, no Baron buff.
Ooh.
DAMWON, they've got 9 seconds now on Nuclear, and SKT realize that they don't need to worry about it. They can just move over to the Baron.
They can just burst it down. Double Mountain Dragon. Why are they wasting their time?
I mean, Teddy can just do it by himself, basically, can't he?
They can burst it. They can burst it right now. Effort.
Yep.
Tom Kench will hold them all off.
So much damage here as it just evaporates. Goodbye, Baron. SKT grab their next one as now FLICKR might be in trouble.
He's dead, yeah.
He is going to be taken down, but that is only 1 pick in trade for a Baron. You'll take that any day of the week. And just to mention...
Teleport, ooh, that's really good.
There's also a 13,000 gold lead now. This game has very quickly gotten out of control. But
so, man.
Yeah, it's a rough one here for DAMWON fans because you can see what their comp can do. There were sort of glimmers of hope of what this Karma buffed Xayah can do. But now the map is getting split, and DAMWON, yes, they're able to grab this in a turret, but...
They're going to try to end through mid and potentially just ignore Rise.
Well, he's going to go back.
I don't know why he's going back.
And taken down. Chains of Corruption. Land onto the Xayah in the front line. And now Khan, yeah, exactly right. That's what he's going to try and do. The prison is going to go wide, though, and SKT, they use this as their time to pounce. Clid goes golden. The Zhonya's is there. Chain Lash, not going to be enough. The Xayah is going to grab it. Noguri flashes in, flashes out. Teddy doing the damage, though, and now Showmaker in trouble. Tongue Lash comes in, and DAMWON looking to try and turn it. Teddy versus Nuclear is the battle. A double lifesteal. He's going to do it. In the meantime, Khan, he's going to do it again, winning the game by himself in the DAMWON base.
And there it is. The Nexus going to die as Tom gracing us with his presence right at the very
I really
end.
wished he had made it there on his abyssal voyage, but oh man, SKT, it's basically the same game as game number 1 in the last few seconds of that one. It was once again Khan in a side lane, SKT 5 versus 4, and we just saw it. It was the Ardent Sensor buffed Xayah, the late game items were in against the double lifesteal Varus with the stacked Rage Blade, and my money was on Teddy from the start, LS, and he did manage to come out on top.
The Varus came online. I mean, Nuclear was the only hope. We saw it over and over that it would come down to the Xayah being enabled by the Karma, and just it wasn't able to be. In the end, the Baron went down, and it put DAMWON in such a awkward spot where they were inevitably forked by Rise on the split push in the end, much akin to game number 1. They made the panic decision to try to barrel down mid. There was no answer to the Rise split push, and they just ended up dying.
Yep. Couldn't actually do it. And I loved that Khan was like trying to go for... Sorry, yeah, my brain just completely fried. A few bit of extra information just coming in here as we're going to check out the last team fight. The Chains of Corruption were absolutely beautiful. What I was trying to say was that Khan was just happy to go for split push every single time throughout both of these games, and just allows his team to do things like this, where despite the fact that it's only Teddy and Effort left over, it doesn't seem to matter if Teddy's alive.
Teddy and Effort, they're able to hold the gates. FLICKR was respawning, and it just didn't matter. But this, again, it was another scary situation, though. I do have to point out that Khan was recalling.
Yeah.
He backed up several hundred range and made almost the decision to recall. So even though they've won through this 2 games in a row now, it is really scary how long it takes Khan to capture the opportunity and identify what he needs to do.
Teddy did 36,000.
Teddy did I'm not impressed, man. It's 37K or go home.
All right, well. Sorry, mate. You need that extra 100 before you got the impressed LS. That being said, this was once again an absolute smashing from SKT. It feels like they're plowing through Sandbox and DAMWON like they're the same team. And that isn't what my prediction was going to be. I thought it was going to be a 3-0, yes, but I thought the games would be a little bit closer than this.
Well, I feel like they're close in the sense that I don't think any other team right now in the league can maybe have edged out DAMWON in some of these fights, except for maybe Griffin.
Yeah.
And so that spells good news if you're a DAMWON fan, though.
That's exactly right. And of course, this isn't their last opportunity as well, even if they fall here. But guys, game number 3, right after the break.
밀어. 안 끝나. 뒤로 와줘. 열심히 하면. 오케이. 와줘야 되지.
맞아.
빨리
이제 와줘.
이제 와줘.
간단하게 하자.
보면서 와줘.
내려고 하는
와줘.
안 끝나.
안 가. 밀어.
빼.
밀어. 밀어. 이겼어.
팔다리.
밀어.
이거 잘 봐야 돼. 야, 좀 부릴 수 있다.
밀어.
자야 피 300. 야, 나 3초 이거. 자야 피 300이야. 야, 안 잡아야 돼. 끝났어. 안 잡아도 된다. 안 잡아도 돼. 시간 봐봐. 야, 끝나겠다.
나이스. 이바지로. 나이스.
야, 끝내줘 봐봐.
아이 무슨 소리야 끝내야지.
때리 봐봐. 때리
무슨
봐봐.
소리야
이렇게.
끝내야지.
나이스. 이거지.
한 판 남았다.
때리,
이거지.
때려.
이거지.
왜 테디오 테디?
뭐 박진영.
아 근데 박진영밖에 없었다.
아 미안하다 이거.
혼란, 카오스, 역대급 혼전이라고 읽을 수 있을 만한 상황.
역대급 암호를 찍다. 역대급 시즌입니다. 역대 원탑 SK 이런 적이 있었나요? 혼전 약사 1위가 맨날 바뀌어요. 맨날. 아 정말 역대급 SK예요. 멜레 버버. 역대급 결승전을 시작하겠습니다.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2019 playoffs. It is round 2, and it is 2-0 in favor for SKT. They are one game away from not only making it to the LCK final at the Tiger Dome, which is such a historic location, but also this is one game away from punching their ticket to Worlds. This will mean that Griffin and SKT will fight for the LCK title, but they will both be going to Worlds based on them both getting into the final and will have the most championship points even if they lose. So the final will all be about seeding if SKT can get over the line in this game.
Yeah, well, let's see what kind of a draft they're going to have in game number 3. I feel like both times now they've edged out victories.
I've got to spot the difference for you, though.
Yeah, okay.
What's the problem with this image right now? Just remember that DAMWON had side selection.
All right, well, DAMWON is on blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they chose to be on blue.
They want to go down with their colors.
God.
You see what's going on here?
Mm-hmm. Well, they wanted SKT to have their colors?
They saw the new poster for Rise of the Skywalker, and they think that if they're on blue side, they can rise up from the 0-2 deficit. Yeah, they didn't catch the memo.
All right, cool. I mean, I'm glad there was a Star Wars reference there, so I can get behind that. Okay, we're having a look at the bans here as the Aatrox, Kiana, and the Xayah are banned away on DAMWON's side, and the Yuumi and Akali already taken off the board here on SKT's side. Vladimir banned again, and DAMWON, are they going to finally pick away the Sylas is the question, and the answer is yes. So already a decent change to how this draft has gone, despite side selection being slightly off. Ooh. And the Kai'Sa Renekton locked in instantly on SKT's side.
All right, now the Kai'Sa Renekton is going to be interesting. We saw this in game number 1 come out for DAMWON.
Yeah.
As an instant response lock-in.
And DAMWON are going to do the SKT thing. So, 3 out of the 5 champions that SKT just beat DAMWON with are now on their side of the rift. So, in theory, this is good for DAMWON.
Yeah, it definitely is. Oh, man, Renekton Elise. So, Khan's been a little bit absent in some of the more recent games, but now it's looking like he could definitely be brought online here.
And not only that, but the Renekton's a flex pick. FLICKR showed that he's certainly happy to wield it in the mid lane as well, so SKT not showing all of their cards just yet, and wanting to hold on to Effort's pick for a little while longer. We were praising him for his champion pool in matches past, so of course not too worried about needing to dig into the depths just a little bit, and not those depths, because the Nautilus himself is going to be taken off the board. No big daddies this game, as the Jace is also banned away. Karma and Jace going to be the 2 bans here from SKT.
That does look like they're restricting the ability for DAMWON to try to get any sort of lane edges or lane neutralizers currently, as SKT, they're going to have to show, though,
they could just
where the
pick,
Renekton potentially is going, but I do believe they should just pick a support here.
Yeah, shouldn't be too hard. And, you know, Brom's available if they want to go the boring route. But we'll see who's going to be up against Sir Thomas in this game. And it's going to be a Pyke, so not boring at all. All right, we'll see whether Effort can share his bounty effectively from this support role. Oh man, SKT just upped the tempo so quickly with this one pick off, and now they're saving potentially Khan or FLICKR's pick until after they've seen what DAMWON is going to be bringing to the table. Oh god,
what?
The nerfed Corki.
What are you
coming
doing?
in from Showmaker. That's a gangplank there as well. A lot of Trinity forces coming out from these solo lanes. As DAMWON, I think they know something that we don't, LS, because Corki not in a great place right now, and that gangplank, it's a relatively tough matchup into the Crocodile, even if there are a couple of moments in the early levels where he can do some stuff. Often, it's just a pirate getting eaten by a crocodile. Nico going to be locked in here by FLICKR. There is no doubt in my mind he's going to be going into the mid lane with this champion. It has lost for the first time, actually, just recently, but he is still the best Nico player that we have here in the LCK.
Europe, going to Europe is SKT. That was what the sign was referring to as. I mean, this team composition is really brutal. I don't know what DAMWON was thinking when they just final picked the Gangplank and the Corki. Now, the GP, obviously, with his W, able to remove the Elise Cocoon, but the problem is that Renekton's right there to chain it into another CC. So even though it allows for some outplay potential, Renekton Elise can have a field day, potentially, up in top lane. And it really just looks like DAMWON's sort of accepted defeat. They chose really late-game scalers, but they give up all sort of lane control.
It's a really scary situation. Nico picked into the Corki there as well. It's not going to be an advantage for Showmaker there in the mid lane. FLICKR should still be able to be just fine, get to his item spikes exactly how he wants to, and control this map with the Glacial Augment, as well as his fantastic use of the passive of the Nico. At least Renekton needs no introduction. And they can even play through bottom side on SKT's side. I mean, you can bone skewer into a cocoon very effectively, misplace your opponents, and lock down kills. SKT poised to punch their ticket to Worlds and to the LCK final. Let's see if they can in Game 3. Entirety of LoL Park in full voice here, as SKT fans can feel the World Championship berth is just around the corner from this game. As that's going to be a face check. Showmaker, that's going to be first blood so quickly. 2 extra assists there as well, and the game got so hard for Noguri so quickly.
Oh man, well, this is going to be a Renekton starting with, I'm going to assume, a longsword.
Or Ruby Crystal.
Or Ruby.
No, longsword. The decision. I like that more.
With a pot.
Yeah. Extra potion, extra
I had to leak
damage. Yeah, you did. You leaked the script so hard.
LS, aka longsword. You know, it go.
I mean, there is an argument for Ruby Crystal instead.
No, there's not.
No?
No. I'm kidding, there is.
Aw, thanks. I feel legitimized.
I think you're smart.
Oh, well, Canyon...
Oh, not like this.
Yeah, another Bone Skewer is going to land, but the rest of the members of DAMWON are going to move on in here. Barrel's going to go down, though.
What are they doing, man?
This is such a big deal. DAMWON look to have mentally exited LoL Park at this stage of the game, and this stage is 1.5 minutes. They're going to lose their red buff. They're going to lose the life of the Tahm Kench. And Noguri is wondering what the heck happened to make this crocodile have an extra item coming out of the fountain at the beginning of the game.
I mean, the other thing also is that Noguri, he's opening with Sapphire Crystal with refillable, so...
And he's also taken the Klepto. As Khan...
Is this real?
This could just be the... Yeah. He's just dead. That's...
Someone better get Twitch on the line. TOS is. I'd like to report a murder. I don't know. What is he doing?
Okay. Well, he's gonna flash forward. He's looking for it. He does have the passive there. Wants another Q. Gonna find it. It's not enough damage. As the 2-0 Crocodile is gonna go home and teleport back with a lot of stuff. He does only have 5 CS, so I guess. It's not a gigantic purchase that he's going to be able to grab here, but the boots, the brown bags come in, refillable potion, and a control ward. And man, this is a 1.6k gold lead at 3 minutes.
You know what? Words don't do it justice. Let's just take it in one more time.
Yeah, that's what happens when you take the W first. And Noguri doesn't have any... I mean, he could have flashed in theory, but I guess he understands that Khan just flashes after him at that stage.
I mean, what he's trying to do by pathing down to the river is he trying to make Khan believe that Canyon's right there and that Khan would just be donking off a kill.
Yeah.
But Khan didn't buy it. And so the lane state is obviously very awkward. Taste of Blood, Ravenous Hunter is on the GP. So with the Kleptomancy, the Sapphire start converts mana into HP by using the W and whatnot, but top lane is...
you can't convert mana really into sad. HP if you have 0 HP, though. That's the
That is weird. It's weird how that works, right?
Yeah.
Very strange.
Well, Canyon, 7-1 so far on his Silas, and Showmaker 8-1 on the Corki, but already giving up that first blood is Showmaker. He's unsealed the spellbook but also feels like he unsealed SKT's restraints from heading to Worlds. Where do we camps next to each other here on DAMWON and SKT's side?
It's very bold.
Yeah. Wanders over, takes some chickens, easy peasy.
Uh-oh.
They might be meeting topside though.
This isn't the best lane manipulation, actually. Definitely a little bit awkward because it's a slow push into Naguri, so if he crashes the wave right now, oh, they're also going to know that he's in Crom. Ooh, will Clid go for the steal? He has Smite.
Oh, I don't actually think that he moved over to see the Crom.
I think he doesn't want to give away. Oh,
my goodness.
No.
It's a bit of a disaster here, but SKT are going to fully commit. The Cocoon is going to land. And Khan was tanking the turret, slices, dices, gets out. Canyon's going to be here, but the turret plates are not. FLICKR turning up in the nick of time, and they are going to smash down this lane. Naguri is their target, and it feels like mentally the game has been won by SKT extraordinarily early into this one.
I get it. DAMWON, they heard that there was no more PvE modes, and so they just wanted Gangplank to die one more time.
Aha.
You see?
Yeah, got it.
That's what they're doing here.
Well, do you know what Khan has? He has double the gold that the Gangplank has.
He's taking such a cautious route.
Yeah. Look at the walk is so nonchalant, but I feel like it's absolutely off-brand as to how this game has been going.
Oh, man.
Nuclear, the Heartseeker Varus on the bottom side, doing what he can here against Effort and Teddy. Canyon turns up as well. There's some opportunities here to possibly get some work done, but Clid shadowing pretty nicely, heading towards Bertha.
Well, Lost Chapter already completed for FLICKR in the mid lane as Clid is running down there with Moby Boots.
Yep, Bone Skewer going to come in, but the Devour immediately comes out. Clid says, all right, well, now you're not going to be able to save Nuclear. Flashing forward, they are going to get the Tahm Kench stunned up, but Beryl is pretty healthy. Max range on the Abscond is now Canyon in trouble. Another Bone Skewer. Kingslayer ain't going to do it for you, mate. That's not enough. And now Beryl completely out of mana. Effort trying to turn it around, and the deep water dive is there. The flash forward. Teddy grabs another one, and he's going to be handed Beryl on a silver platter. Catfish for dinner, thank you very much. The Spider Lady's going to grab it, but SKT are 7-0, heading towards perfect game territory here, and a 13.6 thousand gold lead 7 minutes into the game.
I don't really know what to say, Atlas. I just want to throw that out there that
yeah, look, man, this is a tough one to watch, right? Feels like DAMWON barely turned their computers on moving into this after that level 1, after Naguri just throwing himself at Khan. Another opportunity now for Khan as there's not enough oranges in the world to save this Gangplank.
He doesn't care anymore. That's actually what we're witnessing.
And Khan didn't have flash. Naguri had his. After the slice dice, Naguri could have flashed and he would have survived.
The DAMWON players have mentally checked out of the game. They're still behind us, but...
Yeah, he actually legitimately checked there, guys. That's the amount of worry that we have, because this is not what we want to see out of a team that I know a lot of people were very excited
I don't even...
to go to Worlds, right? And FLICKR just catching Showmaker out here. That's why he wasn't able to get any teleports happening.
The thing about this teleport that was so bizarre, maybe we'll see it actually in this replay, is Clid comes in here, he gets the Cocoon onto Beryl, and then Canyon lands a max range knock-up onto Clid. Just watch this teleport as well. The fight's concluded. There's no way for Corki, even if that teleport finishes, that he can add any value to the trade. All that he would do is stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
And so, if you're SKT, FLICKR pushing in mid, FLICKR's going to get plates, FLICKR's going to get minion wave, XP, whatnot. Corki's just going to blow a teleport. Then we come up into top lane, and I mean...
Ow. Yeah.
I didn't,
This is Khan smurfing against Naguri, and
we're going to get a mature audiences tab here on this this game.
Yep, I know you're always concerned about the TOS and whether we're crossing lines and things
do.
like that, and so far, I think our commentary is the least of the worries. I think the massacre happening in this playoff match, in the deciding match that will bring SKT to the World Championship. DAMWON not having too much of an opportunity here. They will be probably the very top of the World's Gauntlet run. In fact, they will But
oh, now Clid doesn't have...
okay, he's just going to hop on over, make a visit over to Showmaker as Pop Blossom comes in, lands onto 3. Killer Instinct right into the backline as Khan's turned up as well. Canyon hijacked one, but he couldn't get in there. Effort diving on forward, gets himself the stun. And we're delivering gold to everyone on SKT's side. Effort 2-0-6 now on the Pike. Not a perfect game. DAMWON were able to get one back onto Clid. But that's the only thing that they can be happy about. It is a 6,000 gold lead, well 5.5. That's basically 6, and SKT get themselves an Infernal Drake. Quickshot
AD.
Finally happy about it. 16.
16 AD for Kai'Sa.
Damn, that ain't bad.
Quite nice.
And she's got dual scaling as well.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
It's very nice. Very excellent here. As, I mean, coming back into the live game, another Infernal is spawning. So
we finally the quick stats are coming into fruition.
If one wasn't enough to really spice things up, I mean, take a look at this. Pop Blossom comes in, catches everyone. Teddy comes in with the Kai'Sa ultimate. Death from below. Effort able to help his teammates clean up that catfish right there.
Yeah, wasn't able to get the second reset, but I think beggars can't be choosers in that particular point in time. Things going pretty well here for SKT.
Now, one of the things I want to talk about is in leading up to this game number 3, one of the things that I mentioned is that DAMWON looked pretty good when you consider who's going to really give them an issue in the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Vying for the 3rd seed at Worlds because...
And they have to win one best of 5.
They just have to win one best of 5. Now, the thing I'm worried about, though, is that losing a best of 5 in this manner, leading up to that gauntlet, it's one of those types of series that can really cause a lot of problems within a team.
Yeah.
At the end of this, how do they walk away from it? Is there a lot of blaming? Or you did this badly, or we should have done it like this, or I should have...
Yeah, why didn't you do that?
Why didn't you do that? And could it end up meaning that DAMWON has a downfall and even loses out in the gauntlet? How they bounce back from this series is going to be really, really important because I just can't imagine a universe where they bounce back in this game.
Well, this game is basically over. It's one of the most over games that we've had so far, and I'm very surprised that it's here in this series. Not as surprised that it's a game number 3 like this. This is where all the pressure is in. This is a new team still on the side of DAMWON. You could imagine that Coach Kim has certainly got some words planned for these guys as this one finishes. A lot of mental resets going to be necessary. The World's Gauntlet is going to be in, you know, a couple of weeks' time. We've got LCK Finals to come in a week, and then after that will be the World's Gauntlet before the promotion tournament as SKT are closing in on Noguri. This turret is extremely low. He's trying to keep the minion wave away, but it should be a dead pirate. No cocoons necessary. The turret's going to go down next. Big assists coming in from the Pike as well, who gets the reset. Ooh. And now we're pushing even further forward. 12-1 in kills, 7,000 gold, the lead, and 12.5 minutes on the clock.
Will we potentially have the fastest game in LCK history?
Well, that would be certainly pretty good for SKT, because what the time to beat is their own.
No. I don't mean in League of Legends. I mean...
In LCK?
In LCK.
Okay.
I believe Jin captured that moment.
I can't quite remember.
This summer split, I do think so. I think it was like a 21-minute, 49-second game. I'm not quite Papa Smithy, okay? I can't pull these facts out.
Yeah, no.
Khan's
pretty good at that. As Canyon is pretty good at finding a crocodile, and Khan pretty good at not caring about that at all. He's looking for a Q to come back. Slice dice, he does die. In the mid lane, however, FLICKR is going to be able to lock down the kill onto the Corki. The Elise helping him out there as Clid does have to flash. As DAMWON have found themselves at least a few of their sea legs. It's not their pirate, ironically, but he's now looking to try and pressure this SKT away and may actually just die. He did find the flash, but he's also going to find himself dying. Oh, Pop Blossom going to be enough. Effort grabs it with the Ignite in the end. And despite them finding the kill onto Khan, Noguri still finds a way to die.
Effort has 3 kills right now, but I don't believe any of them are the Pike kills, right?
No, 2 of them are.
2 of them are?
Yeah.
Thought no, he missed on Tom.
He missed on Tom, but that was a reset. And so he got the first one.
Okay.
And then
so the kill score on Pike is misleading right now.
It
for
is.
the viewers.
It is about like 7 or something like that as far as gold gained for his team. As Canyon was able to grab this kill. That's great. Red buff working out there. As Showmaker collects the cocoon after the Valkyrie. Decent use of that one. Pop Blossom, though, is going to lock down the Corky kill.
FLICKR able to stroll away. And now coming back into live right now. Barrel just wandering about in bottom. This next Infernal Dragon, it's going to go the way of SKT.
Oh, really? You have to look at the script for that?
No.
Come on, man. This game is in a scenario
Trying
where
to be punctual here.
It's likely that SKT are going to win. I don't think you need the script anymore. You read out the outcome of this series very quickly, and it looks like you've leaked it to DAMWON because they've stopped being able to do too much to stop the outcome that we did allude towards at the beginning of this series. SKT had so much momentum, and despite DAMWON looking so good against SKT over this year, the entirety of 2019, it has been 9-5 in favor of DAMWON starting off. Even in the Kesper Cup, denying them a finals berth against Griffin.
This is very adorable. They're digging their own grave.
Well, SKT are going to help them. Down to about half health here as top laners are teleporting in. We'll see who's going to actually be able to make this one work, though. Dominus immediately popped as Khan dives into the back line. Good Devour comes in. I believe that denied the death from below, but Nuclear should still be dying here. He flashes, keeps himself alive for the moment as finally FLICKR locks down the first kill. It's 1 for 1, though, as the Elise is going to fall off the back end. Double kill as FLICKR completes that. And now Khan, he's able to just wander around. Looks like Catfish has been on the menu all day. And SKT will move over and grab themselves an Infernal Drake. Jungler or no jungler.
They're going to pick up this Drake. They're also going to get the Scuttle Crab. That's a nice little victory right there as FLICKR taps both.
Yep. 404, FLICKR not found. His Showmaker over to the side, looking to try and get a steal with a rocket or something like that, but a stray rocket not going to be enough to stop the onslaught.
1480 off the second one.
Ooh, not bad.
There you go.
Kai'Sa doing better, though, in the first one. So
yeah.
Just have a look at this fight once again.
As Khan actually, he goes in right into the backline, and Clit and Effort actually take massive amounts of damage. Teddy is separated from the fight almost entirely as he's busy fighting Sir Thomas on the right-hand side. Effort helping FLICKR.
Effort's pike has looked so
yeah, it's
good
very
this
clean.
game.
It is extremely, extremely clean.
I feel like DAMWON's mistakes have sort of overshadowed some of the great plays that SKT have been able to make this game, which is a bit unfortunate. Sometimes you have to talk about the main issue with how these things are going. We have to remember that this is a very young team, etc., etc. But
smiling. He looks like he was laughing right there on his player cam. Maybe he's not actually in that bad of spirits.
Well, sometimes all you can do. We laugh to keep from crying, you know, things like that. Good snare landing onto Nuclear.
Oh.
It's FLICKR. Takes a couple of turret shots. Shoots him with a Super Soaker, though.
Ooh.
Blight. Yeah, Blighted Quiver. Stacked up onto FLICKR is going to mean that Piercing Arrow does do a fair bit of damage there. And SKT now should be freely able to knock down this outer turret in the mid lane. Demolish Rock is certainly going to secure it, as now Canyon lying in wait. Effort going to be spotted. Scrying Ward working out there, but DAMWON moving through their own jungle, trying to clear out vision. Canyon going to get bone skewered, and the red buff is going to go down. FLICKR, in the meantime, just going to be destroying the bottom outer turret. Free extra 300 gold, and we're very close to a 10,000 gold lead before 20 minutes has elapsed. So SKT not going to be winning before that 16-minute mark that we'd prefer not to think about. However, this is still a game that's going to be quite difficult for the SK Telecom roster to not close out. Now, 2 items already done for FLICKR as well. He is huge this game.
You want to hear about a game that it would be nice to freeze? It would be this one.
Oh, yeah.
For SKT.
Just because make DAMWON have to come to you?
Make DAMWON have to come to you, demand that they break it, because there's still 2.5 minutes until the next neutral objective comes up. And DAMWON are not in a position to overextend on the map or try to invest any resources into vision.
Yep. A reminder, this does secure the World's Gauntlet. We know exactly who's going to be playing. If SKT are able to win this game, it means World's Gauntlet will be a FLICKR taking on Kingzone. Kingzone with side selection And then the winner of that will play Sandbox, and the winner of that will play DAMWON as the 1v1 on the bottom side. FLICKR not actually finding it too well, but the Pop Blossom's going to turn it all around. He found all of his buttons, and the Pirate is no more. I tried to word that like there was a chance for Noggery there just to keep the excitement up.
Some of these fights they are looking a little bit closer than one might expect, given all the advantages on the side of SKT.
Chain lash there from Canyon. Fair bit of damage onto Effort, but he's going to go underwater in the middle of the lane and get that health back. Passive pretty strong here for the Pyke as Canyon moving on over. So much deep vision here for SKT. DAMWON just can't enter their own jungle. Canyon, this is not the Silas game that we wanted. There's our Shape Splitter going to get FLICKR in here. That is not Kaiser. That is in fact the Nico. This turret's going to go down.
He's quite good at it.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's actually the best at it. As far as utilizing the passive, I think FLICKR really set himself apart by his navigation of that particular use of the Nico. It's not super necessary right now because all of SKT's members are about as terrifying as each other.
Taking a look at this 1v1 replay. This is like David versus Goliath, but Goliath wins as FLICKR. He's up 2 levels, 2 Infernal Dragons. And there's just not really that much Nuggery can do.
He died before the Pop Blossom damage went off. That was a Pop Blossom thrown out for the half-necessary shield. That's about it.
Well, this is going to be the 3rd Infernal Dragon.
Wow.
To cremate DAMWON here.
When it rains, it pours, I guess, which is probably the opposite reference that I should make to an Infernal Drake. But that is the cliche. Showmaker barely avoiding. Now, cleared. Moving in, will find the Cocoon. Bone Skewer's going to land as well. Thomas is going to go down so quickly, but does keep himself alive. FLICKR off to the side. Now cleared over to the Infernal Drake, Teddy. Going to help him out. This is going to very comfortably go the way of SKT. On the bottom side, feeling like a scaling Renekton right now. 6, 1, and 5, and has both of the items that he wants. He's a GA away from being optimal Renekton far earlier than he needed to be.
Well, it does look like SKT, they can just take the Baron at will at this point.
3 Infernals and an 11,000 gold lead.
Even if, I mean, Gangplank, he can cast his ultimate on it. Sure, it'll stall SK Telecom for a brief period of time, but then they'll just restart it. Gangplank won't have the ult available, and then it becomes all too easy. This is a 10,000 gold lead at 22 minutes with triple Infernal Dragon.
As far as like statistics are concerned, if SKT spend all of their gold and have the Infernal Drakes, it's more like a 20,000 gold lead. It's insane.
It's really bonkers.
Whoa.
We don't get to see stuff like this all that often.
Yep. Not only that, but they have literally everyone that uses Infernal Drake very well. Like even Pyke, one of the highest damage supports that you can have in the game. And Clit as well on the Elise. Burst damage, jungle is certainly going to be very happy about that. So it's 100% bad to worse for DAMWON. And we can only hope that they can reset their mental moving into the World's Gauntlet. And SKT just looking like a step ahead of everyone else so far in this Gauntlet run.
I mean, SKT, they do look like they're playing this extremely safe, just to guarantee 100%. Now they're going to start the Baron. Klid's not there, so maybe DAMWON isn't even getting a sense that this might be happening. But the real tragedy would be a Gangplank ult coming in and stealing the Baron.
We're going to need a 7,000 range smite, I think, in order for DAMWON to contest this in any way. As our Showmaker's going to make his way over.
Klid is actually there.
Yep, and it was relatively slow, as Showmaker is at least going to get hit momentarily. FLICKR, that's a Shape Splitter, as now Klid is in trouble. The flash forward from Showmaker, but the Glacial Augment. Oh, not enough. Piercing Arrow is going to be there as Khan's found 4 people off the back line. He's going to have to dice to get himself over the wall. He does so. Effort dashing to try and get out of the way. Canyon looks for the death run below. This could be a triple kill, but it's not. He gets snared, and he gets Blooming Bursted. Now we're looking for empowered recalls. SKT. All right, Killer Instinct by Canyon. Yeah, Slayer's there, but he's just dead. He got through the shield, so shout-outs for that. But Teddy is very strong.
Man.
We've got a flanking teleport coming in from both the top laner and the mid laner. Shape Splitter's in. There's the Pop Blossom. Doesn't actually land on anyone, though. Super Soaker goes out, finds the snare and a Nuggery on the backline, but it's just not enough. Death from Below's there. Boom, boom, boom. Even the minion wave's going to suffer here as effort just rains down the Terror, and SKT are going to continue moving forward. All too easy.
That's going to be the end of the game. This should surely be able to be a Doom push, even though Showmaker...
He's doled out a fair bit of money, yeah?
He's doing an okay job.
Impressed, no?
I'm impressed.
Oh, we did it. We got LS to be impressed by the end of the series at least, but not by DAMWON. This was all SKT this whole series long.
Really playing it super safe.
Yeah, they break open the base here. They are considering going for a Cloud Drake in a minute and a half. With the reset, 2 minutes on the Baron. They will have a bit more time to utilize it. 6-0-7 here for FLICKR's Nico.
All right, well. Taking a look at this highlight one more time. Teleport came in from FLICKR. Couldn't quite find the ultimate, but it didn't matter. Death from below. Able to get so many kills for the SKT team composition. I mean, the gold score at the top, we don't need to keep talking about it. It's just going to be SKT
It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, guys, is what it is. Don't get too alarmed by its size. It's just that DAMWON are very far behind at this point, okay?
Well, they hit their 2 item spikes, okay?
They did. I mean, they're expensive 2 items as well. But I just don't know whether it's going to be enough LS. I have a feeling SKT can close this one out. They are so extraordinarily far ahead. Shape Splitter once again. It's a decent bone skewer, but the Cocoon is going to miss onto Feral. Just for that one pick off for SKT, just to ride this one all the way home. Lots of opportunities to get these picks as well on SKT's side. They've got the snare coming in from the Nico as well as any random Cocoon. As that's the Bone Skewer. The other option is Showmaker taking a fair bit of damage, but that wasn't the real FLICKR. Gorky's going to be okay. Khan was on the bottom side. And now just trying to play aggressively here, moving out of the way of the barrels as there's the package. It's delivered over to the Crocodile, who is going to go gold. And SKT, can they actually find their way in? There's the Killer Instinct. And we're looking for Showmaker. We'll find him as well as Teddy. 1 versus 3 in the backline. Sacrifices himself, but I think he did enough damage there as Nuggery, the last man standing. And FLICKR with a Pop Blossom is going to say goodnight to DAMWON. They wanted to go home and get an early one in preparation for next week's final because SKT is going to be there. LCK final, SKT versus Griffin. DAMWON barely showing up in game number 3. But SKT, that is so many games in a row. 7 in a row. Through these playoffs, the Gauntlet buff has made this team into a monster. They have now qualified for the World Championship as well. The LCK final will be for seeding at Worlds between Griffin and SKT. So congratulations, making it to the final, doing it once again, running the full gauntlet. This is the SK Telecom that we wanted to see, that we were so surprised about losing at the beginning of the summer season. And now, after this, you can't help but just think this is the SKT that we wanted to see representing the LCK in 2019. That's a very happy Khan.
Well, he showed up big in game number 3, even though the start was a little, a bit surprising.
Should we discuss how that game went?
Let's not talk about game number 3. Game number 3...
I think we want to talk about the results of game number 3.
Now, the other really cool thing about this, though, is this is the year SKT returns to Worlds.
Yeah.
They missed out on it last year. But then in addition to this, Korea is sending 2 really big powerhouse teams to Worlds. I don't feel like Korea has ever sent a massive lineup to Worlds in recent years, even the years that they've won it.
Yeah.
As strong as 2 of the teams are that are going to be sent for this year.
And you're saying that with 2017 being Korea versus Korea in the final.
Yeah.
But still, I actually have to agree with you. I think that Griffin looking in like fantastic form. We are going to find out for sure at the final in a week's time.
And if DAMWON joins them, I mean, that's probably Korea's strongest lineup that I personally feel that they've set.
Turn up.
Yeah, game number 3 DAMWON doesn't turn up.
I do not want this to happen again. And this is actually going to be lingering in a lot of people's minds. What happens when DAMWON are under too much pressure? When these young guns are unfortunately outmatched, and then it gets into their head, under their skin, and they can't bounce back. Because resiliency is how SKT have dominated this gauntlet so easily. And also how the best teams in the world continue to stay that good. And it was SKT today. It was a game number 3 without a DAMWON. Basically, they pretty much started packing up their keyboards. And that's sometimes what happens when SKT get off to a run like this. They're a very intimidating squad to go up against mentally. So DAMWON, they weren't there. Not in game 3.
I got a script for you.
Yeah.
It's either going to be a FLICKR or DAMWON.
Well, this is what I was thinking, right? Is that a FLICKR is actually the team that's given SKT the biggest run for their money.
Yeah.
That actually was a bit of a coin flip towards the end of that first series.
FLICKR has been very up and down in summer.
Yeah.
But their roster is really, really scary. And when they're on, I mean, they can definitely show up.
Could we have back-to-back gauntlets being run? That could happen, right? From lowest seed in the gauntlet to the winner of the whole thing. SKT will have to beat Griffin for their Cinderella story in the gauntlet to come true. But then, a FLICKR, if they potentially do it back-to-back full-ran gauntlets, that'd be a crazy outcome for an already absolutely insane LCK season.
Wait a minute, hold on. Second seed always goes into groups with first seeds from other regions, right?
Yes.
Then SKT has to get second seed.
So
gonna
they
meet
can
G2.
be in the G2 group.
Griffin's gonna win finals.
Wow.
I got it right here.
No, I wanted to speculate for a little bit before you took all thoughts of chance out of it.
This is actually the world script.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there, okay?
Let's try not to watch this too much. I don't want to get re-sad.
I don't know if these...
You know,
this
re-sad when you react to something already, but then you see it again, and you're like, oh, now I'm sad all over again.
This isn't a... this is not highlights. These are last rites that we're actually witnessing right here.
Is there anything you would like to say, Nuggery? And he's like, nope, not a flash, not nothing. Just dead.
All right. Well, there were some moments where it might have looked like DAMWON were going to be able to turn some things around, but you could just see by the choices that they were making, like the teleport there was...
What teleport?
Well, it was canceled by FLICKR, but even had it come through, it was a really poor decision, nonetheless. And DAMWON was making a lot of really poor decisions in the early stages of the game, and SK Telecom, they were all too quick to punish them. And this was really nice Spiderling play by Clid. He managed to live and even get the flash out of Showmaker that you don't get to see on the left side of the clip.
Yep. And that's going to be the resets coming in for Effort there as well, doling out a bit of extra cash to his team. I loved seeing the Pike out of Effort. He was fantastic on that pickup as well, alongside Bang. That was when they were playing the Morgana Pike on the bottom side of the map. Effort was our big Pike player. Before we realized we didn't really have a big Pike player after being piked in those games at MSI.
Well, this was the team fight that was a lot closer than it probably should have been. Some people were probably getting a little bit nervous, thinking, well, SKT, you have such a massive advantage. Why is this looking as close as it is? But in the end, it didn't matter. SKT, they edged it out. Here was the 1v1 between Gangplank and Nico.
Yep, and this is the Pop Blossom used to get a bit of a shield that he didn't need. Just did a bit more damage than he otherwise would have expected, and I loved this play out of SKT. FLICKR tricking them all, making them feel like it was a crocodile, but instead it was the Pop Blossom making its way in, and that didn't land, but honestly you only need about 25% of your abilities to hit the mark. And when you're this far ahead, like SKT was, you're able to still win. And yeah, Pretty self-explanatory. A little bit sad for DAMWON fans, but certainly exactly the kind of run that you wanted to be starting on if you're an SKT fan. And congratulations for making it to Worlds. They missed out on 2018. We missed out on the finals, the World Championship, when it was in Korea as well. SKT still frustrated about that, but now they will definitely be representing as either our first or our second seed, based on how the LCK final goes next weekend at the Tiger Dome. Historic location and also a historic moment for SKT fans now that they have guaranteed their spot back at the World Championships after missing out in 2018.
It's going to be an exciting final, hopefully, between Griffin and SKT. I'm expecting a lot more out of it than the match that they just played against DAMWON. But Griffin, they've always been a little bit shaky when they've had time off, but we're going to head to an MVP interview. FLICKR picking it up here in game number 3.
Yeah, I believe I gave it to, I can't even remember. Everyone played pretty well on the side of SKT, but Effort with his deep water dives and the deaths from below was certainly making things happen. Landed almost every grind skewer as well.
Yeah, he really did. It was actually quite, he was putting on a clinic.
He was.
Dr. Pike.
And this was the guy that was pretty out of it in the FLICKR series, and now turning that all around to be our man of the match for the final one against DAMWON, heading into the final against Griffin as well. That is exactly what you want for a young player.
Put in the effort.
Thankfully, we are going to be moving towards the MVP interview with SKT. They're getting pretty used to these ones, LS, because it's been days after days, and it's always been SKT. So let's throw it over to Ji-sun for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Ji-sun with the interview translation, and we'll be hearing from the whole SKT players and also the head coach, Goma. So, Goma, since you joined, how do you feel about this win today? With this victory, we made it to Worlds and also the finals. So it's a really valuable victory over here. I'm really happy. In the pre-match interview, well, I heard a lot of the players were actually suffering from this tight schedule. So did you give any special advice to the players? For today, we were feeling actually really comfortable. Regardless of the results, I just wanted the players not to be emotional in game. They really did pull it off really well, so I'm really thankful for my players for executing it in the games really well. And today, I want to start the talk with Effort. How was today's match overall? Are you satisfied? Today, all the players were doing a great job, so I was just doing my role comfortably. Nice smile on you, Effort. And Teddy. So DAMWON, you guys were very behind in terms of match history. What was the focal point in terms of preparing today's match? There were a lot of games where DAMWON was able to turn the game around, so we wanted to focus in the mid and late game. Khan, the most hyped matchup would be the top lane matchup with you and Nuguri. So how was your laning phase up against him? Well, no one was like outstanding. Both of us was doing their role perfectly, and maybe we were able to get the better results. In game number 1, FLICKR picked up the MVP, and you were really controlling all over the map. So we have this highlight where SKT got the game in their hands. So let's take a look at it. So you guys already took that Rakan, but you guys once again camped in the brush. So who kind of planned that? Well, DWG Gaming was feeling a lot of pressure in terms of vision, so it was not even planned. We were just waiting all together for the play. So after that victory in game number 1, moving on to game number 2 and also game 1, Split, your performance on Silas was on pick as well. And you got the MVP on Silas in game 2. which is undefeated in Summer Split so far. So we have this highlight near the Baron for game 1. So you stole the Kiana ultimate. Was that planned or calculated? Yeah, that was the perfect spot to use the ultimate. So I was able to get that kind of a montage moment.
깔끔하게 대승으로 가져가면서 이렇게 2세트까지 승리로 가져왔어. 1세트 승리로 가져오고 또 이후에 2세트에도
So with that game 1 victory, you guys also got the game 2 victory as well. And moving on to game number 3, it was very, very dominant. Actually, the game was over starting from the invade phase.
인베 장면 다 계획이 되어
Was that all planned? Yes, well, we all planned for it before we went in. Well, some of the things were impromptu, but mostly it was planned. And the Pyke support was very interesting as well. Was that prepared for today? Well, Pyke is counter for Tom Kench. So we were thinking of going for Pyke when the opponent locks in Tom Kench. After that, the bot lane was able to keep rolling on the snowball. So we have this highlight here. Well, DAMWON also trying to fight back for this. Well, Tom Kench didn't have Devour, but we saw Silas for a backup, so we tried to back a little bit. But we were focusing on Silas because he had no flash, but we saw the teleport coming in. But it was cancelled, so I was just like keep going in. So that was a great play-by-play commentating from Teddy. Thanks to FLICKR, you guys were able to make that super play. I saw Liz doing a kill steal over there. And Teddy said he was also worried for that. I think my team is too harsh on me. So with this perfect performance, SKT got a 3-0 victory. Your momentum in the playoffs is really scary. I think all the players and all the team is happy right now, right? What was the hardest thing that happened during the preparation? Any obstacles or anything that players are working really hard on? I mean, all the pro players, they are always working hard. So I'm just want to say thank you for all the players who have been doing such a great job in this tight schedule. And also Sefa, Fly, our coaching staff. And also the other players, the 6-men in our team, Crazy, Haru, Mara, Gori. I'm sorry, not effort. Leo. Leo and Mara, we are just doing such a hard work on the 5v5 scrims or drafts. So all of the teams, all of the squad are putting in so much effort. But at the same time, we are not there yet. We still have finals to go. So I just want them to keep up the hard work, and I also want to say thank you for everybody. So the final up against Griffin is on the way. I bet you guys really want the back-to-back trophy. Any resolution going into the finals? We started from the bottom, the wildcard series. So all the staff members in our team was doing such a great work for our conditions. They were like buying us great dinners, and also we only have 1 day to go, 1 step away. So I want to end the split with great results. And Clip? So we are on a winning streak since the wildcard series. So I just want to keep it going to the finals. And one round of applause for Clit, please. And FLICKR, captain of SK Telecom. As a leader, any message for the teams? Well, we somehow made it to the finals. And before the playoffs, I did say going to Worlds is not my goal. Being the LCK champion is my goal. So I will do my best to win the finals next week. And Teddy, would you like to add on to that? Well, somehow we were doing a great job. We are on a winning streak and we're at finals. But as we started from the bottom, it's gonna be really frustrating to lose in the finals, so I will do my best. You are the Spring Split final MVP, or do you have your eyes on it again? I think FLICKR and all the other players are so good right now, so I don't know. I wonder who will be ending up picking up the MVP in the finals. And lastly, effort. We had a very tough journey on our way to the finals, so we're just gonna make the best value out of it and win the finals. Once again, congratulations on the win and wish you the best of luck in the finals up against Griffin at the Hwajong Tiger Dome. And this will be the end of the interview with SKT players and head coach Goma, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ji-san, for your interview translation as usual. A little bit earlier than we otherwise would have expected that interview translation. I think a lot of people were expecting this one to go a little bit longer. We were pretty outspoken with the 3-0 based on the form, but we know that the potential that DAMWON has is very high, but LS's script has not let anyone down before.
It wasn't about to today. Yeah. And you know what, if DAMWON, if they keep playing like that, it's not going to be a script for them.
No, they're going to be off the script.
They're going to be off the script.
And in fact, that is going to be one best-of-5 series. It's whoever wins their way forward and gets towards DAMWON Gaming in that Worlds qualifier. Still, the 3rd seed is available. The team that is going to be representing Korea in the play-in stage, in fact.
Well,
at the World Championships, but this is it. SKT, 2-1, rocky start, you might say, but it was smooth sailing through Sandbox Gaming and DAMWON, our newly promoted 2019 teams. And now Griffin await SKT in the final once again. And look, you'll have to check the dates on your scripts because I know the script from the spring season.
I'm not going to leak
a rough
the final
one.
results.
Okay, you're not going to leak that one?
Until the final.
All right, so you're going to leak that one before the final goes live. That's
exactly.
the theory?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, this was a very, very fast best-of-5. I'm still trying to gather my thoughts together, LS, because honestly, I wasn't expecting DAMWON to roll over that quickly. And SKT look this incredibly dominant. Does this mean another 3-0 in the final? I mean, with all scripts aside,
yeah.
What is your heart saying? What is your feeling about this SKT?
Never go off my heart.
No, you don't?
Nope.
You're just a robot inside there?
I wish.
Like, unless we're talking about Pokemon or some random memes, then there's just
Tom.
no heart involved. Or Tom Kench, of course.
Tom Kench.
Yes, okay.
I have a lot of heart for Tom.
Okay, so is Tom Kench going to be picked in the final?
I hope not.
No.
Probably be abused like he just was in that last game.
Oh, no.
That was a well-done catfish, I'll tell you that much.
That was certainly a well-done catfish.
We're going to have to call Gordon Ramsay in here.
It was a real rough one, but what is not going to be is the final. So we'll see you there in a week's time, ladies and gentlemen. For now, good night.
You take me higher when I feel low. Make my world brighter when I'm alone. I keep on rolling, all with your fuel. You're like my gasoline that makes my dream come true. Since it began. You're all I need. I'm feeling feather light.
논란, 카오스, 역대급 혼전이라고